This is a big game in the Big East. Both West Virginia and Miami have yet to lose a game in the conference. Same with Virginia Tech. They will play Miami on December the 7th. But first, we have West Virginia. Pam Ward and Chris Spielman along with you in Morgantown. Miami has offense. They average 44 points a game. Not one, but two Heisman hopefuls.
Well, absolutely. And the first guy you want to talk about is Ken Dorsey, the quarterback. And the biggest tribute he brings is his presence and confidence. Obviously, he has great physical abilities, but he's a winner, the most important thing. Now, the guy carrying the mail for them, Willis McGahee, in my opinion, the best running back in the country. He can run over you, he can run through you, and he can run around you. Now, the other guy we're talking about is Avon Coburn from West Virginia. Now, Avon Coburn's a different type of back. He's a guy that has a little shake and bake. He has the ability to make people miss. He has great balance and great vision. In fact, Avon has been the guy to carry the load for this West Virginia offense all year. He also knows how to find the end zone. A lot of career touchdowns, over 30 career touchdowns. Now, Miami has a big challenge to stop them, and here's how they'll do it down to Rob Stone.
Oh, Chris, talk about strength in numbers. The Canes start 4 senior defensive ends, but they play all 8, and it's not just a couple token snaps either. They average 30 to 35 plays a game. Now, all that subbing doesn't even really throw off their flow of the game either, because you know, man, when those big guys are tired, the big guys want out. And Pam, keep this in mind. The defensive coaches have these linemen programmed to play at the same speed first through the first quarter. They don't quit.
And that is the strategy, Rob. You're absolutely right. They'd rather have them be consistent than be faster in the first quarter and slower in the fourth. But slow is not a word usually associated with Miami defense.
No, their defense is built on speed and depth, and they just keep coming after you in waves.
Miami's defense 5th in the NCAA in total defense, #1 in passing defense, as Larry Coker. Boy, what can you say about this guy? He has not lost a game since he was a high school head football coach. Only Walter Camp had a better start in Division 1A, the legendary Walter Camp, and that was over 100 years ago.
Well, it was a nice transition for Miami, and there's Rich Rodriguez.
Coming home again. He is an alum at West Virginia, and they had a 3-8 season last year, 5-2 so far this season. We are ready to go as Miami in their all-whites kick off to West Virginia, and that will be yet another touchback for Todd Sievers. Now 21 of his 41 kickoffs have gone for touchbacks this year. Rasheed Marshall's confidence at an all-time high. The Mountaineers averaged, though, just 113 yards passing in their last 3 games. Avon Coburn has run for over 1,000 yards already. McQuell Henderson leads West Virginia with 28 catches, but this is a football team that very rarely will throw the ball.
The spread offense, it likes to run the ball.
And they like to do that primarily with Avon Coburn, who is already the leading rusher in the history of the Big East. This is a spread offense. They go no huddle. It could be quick. And they give it to Avon Coburn, and Coburn escapes a tackle, but actually goes up the middle. Rasheed Marshall kept it, and Marshall, after a very good fake, picks up 5. The guys in front of Marshall, Lance Nimmo, one of 3 senior starters. The Mountaineers feature the #2 rushing offense in the country. Hurricanes so deep and talented. We already told you about that. Jamal Green and Vince Wilfork leading the Hurricanes with 4 sacks apiece. So we show you the 8 guys. You will see a lot for them. And that is a first down and more as Marshall again keeps the ball. That is a 15-yard run. Sean Taylor made the stop. Linebackers for Miami. Fast, talented, good. Jonathan Vilma is in the middle. He had 15 tackles 2 weeks ago in the win against Florida State. 4 Hurricanes secondary starters last year drafted by the NFL. Playmaker Maurice Sykes coming off the bench today as Coburn gets his first carry and picks up 3. Sykes is benched for missing a team meeting. He will play, but true freshman Greg Treat got the start for him at strong safety.
I'm excited because I'm telling you, because Rich Rodriguez and I talked yesterday, and what we said was that Rasheed Marshall has to be a factor running the football because Miami plays man-to-man defense. When you play man-to-man, your second level's backs are turned off, and that opens holes for Rasheed Marshall to go ahead and make plays with his feet.
And we showed you the discrepancy with the way West Virginia runs the ball. Miami's offense is 50-50. Marshall's first passing attempt ends in futility as Jamal Green gets him, but he slipped on that turf. They've taken out the AstroTurf here at Mountaineer Field. They're playing on something called Astro Play, which the players like a lot better than what they had previously, but Marshall was unable to keep his feet. Take a look at the turf. Not quite as favorable as field turf, but certainly an improvement again over what they had. 3rd and 14. This has been West Virginia's downfall, has been the passing game. Short one completed to Phil Braxton, but he is stopped even short of the original line of scrimmage. So after a promising start to their first drive, West Virginia is going to have to punt it away. Punting has not exactly been a strong suit for this West Virginia team. They are 97th in Division 1A, only 10 teams worse. Mark Fazzolari punting this time. Ethnic Sands is deep, lets it bounce in front of him. Sands showing some quickness is stopped down at the 35-yard line. Adam Jones making the stop. Take a look at Ken Dorsey. Hurricanes 32-1 in games that he has started. He's got 16 touchdowns, 7 picks this year. Dorsey, so many weapons from which to choose. Tight end Kellen Winslow leads the Canes with 22 catches. And we already told you about Willis McGahee, one of the best backs in the country, and he's only a sophomore. Ken Dorsey leading the way for this Miami offense, and McGahee gets the first carry and only picks up about 3. Take a look now at the Miami offensive line. Seniors Brett Romberg and Shirko Haji Rasuli lead this line. 6th in the country in total offense. Mountaineers have the nation's 11th best defense. Jason Davis starting at nose guard. They play a 3-3 stack.
Bring 5 guys down. They always have 8 guys in the box. That's what they're comfortable with. That's what they'll need to slow down McGahee in the Miami rushing game.
In the eye, Hill is the fullback in front of McGahee. Play action, and that is completed to Hill, and the fullback picks up a first down, gets into Mountaineer territory, gain of 17. Finishing up with the West Virginia defense, James Dirty Davis, perhaps the best pass rusher. We will see him line up at defensive end when West Virginia goes to its nickel package. And in the secondary, Brian King has a broken thumb, so Lewis Daniels starts for the veteran at one of the corner spots. 2 tight ends in now is West Virginia, facing this Miami offense in its own territory. McGahee slips around a couple of tacklers and then is gang tackled at the 44. Linebacker Grant Wiley leading the way.
Now the thing that Miami's going to do, they run basically 2 running plays. In this vaulted Miami offense, they have 2 running plays. They have what they call a lead play, and right there you saw the power play with the fullback leading the backside guard coming around. How you counter that is you get a lot of people to the football and make the ball bounce and get your blue helmets running to catch the white helmet on the outside. Don't let them run north-south. Make them go side to side.
Trying to stop that Miami offense. Have been trying to figure that out. McGahee tries to get around the corner, but there's a good tackle by Lance Frazier. Held him to a 1-yard gain, and Chris, obviously they need to tackle.
Well, you got to tackle this football team. That was a great open field tackle because McGahee is not easy to bring down in the open field. But the important thing, again, what they made McGahee do is run sideline to sideline. Did not let him get up north and south. They got penetration, forced the ball to bounce, let your pursuit come and make a play.
Miami converting almost 46% of its third downs. This is a 3rd and 6 as Dorsey goes out of the shotgun.
And here comes the blitz.
They're coming. They're picked up, and Dorsey finds his target for another first down. Andre Johnson running for the end zone, and just like that, Miami's on the scoreboard.
Yep, see now, if you blitz and you don't get there, you're leaving your guys vulnerable in the secondary. Dorsey has all kind of time. You got too many great athletes. Johnson running across the middle on a little drag route. They catch it, and he uses his speed and outruns everybody for 6. That's a 5-yard pass and ends up being a 45-yard touchdown because nobody made a tackle. You got to get there if you blitz.
This is exactly what Rich Rodriguez did not want, his team falling behind this quickly. Extra point is good by Todd Severs and this Miami offense. As Ken Dorsey throws his 75th career touchdown, Andre Johnson, from a first down to a touchdown, Miami's up early. Andre Johnson with his longest pass play of the season, a 42-yard touchdown play from Ken Dorsey in a drive that consumed 2 minutes and 27 seconds, which is long for them.
Yeah, that's a ball control drive for Miami right there. You see they average 147 per scoring drive, which is amazing.
And that was on 33 touchdowns. As another touchback, West Virginia will take over from its 20. And let's take a look at that TD again, Chris.
Well, West Virginia comes out in a bare front, the old bare front. They're running a blitz, and they're going to bring the middle linebacker here, and they're going to run these guys inside to take up offensive linemen. And what you're going to see, here they come. The snap of the ball, you'll see Angel Estrada come into your pitcher right there. Now, Angel and Ben Collins hit the same gap. So one guy gets two. Miami picks up the blitz, leaves Johnson alone one-on-one. He's too good. Dorsey knows where to go with the football, delivers the football. All of a sudden, you got a touchdown. If you're going to blitz, you either got to disrupt the throw, get a sack, hit the quarterback, do something, but don't give him time because they're too good. They'll make you pay.
Coburn trying to make Miami pay and gets the stiff arm and picks up a first down. Well, let's go to Matt Weiner.
Pam, at least one of the 3 Big Ten unbeatens is going to go down today. Iowa and Michigan at it. And Iowa on the board first. Brad Banks, well-designed play to C.J. Jones, and they're so not going to catch him. 39 yards for the score. Iowa up 7-0.
A lot of good games in the Big Ten today, Chris. That obviously is one of them.
West Virginia coming out 9 backs, something a little different.
Don't use their fullback often, and they throw to their fullback. That is Mo Fofana, and he is shoved out after about a 3-yard gain. Fofana's only his second catch of the season. This first one went for a touchdown. John Vilma, the talented linebacker, making a play.
Fofana could be a weapon against this type of team now, because Miami, again, is a man-to-man team with speed, and they pursue well. So what you want to do is hit him with misdirection. That time, Fofana came out on a bootleg, snuck in the flat, and that's a win for West Virginia on first down. They got 2nd and 6. That's a win for them.
That was one of their goals, to get 2nd and 6s, 3rd and 2s. Quincy Wilson with the carry, tries to get around the corner, and he says hello to John Vilma.
In order to be a good middle linebacker, you got to be able to make plays and get off blocks. You see your gap right there. He uses his speed, runs through the blocker, and drives his feet and brings his feet. Doesn't get him down, but he brings his feet when he hits, knowing that the out-of-bounds is there. He's a great middle linebacker. He has great speed and vision, and gets off blocks.
One of 11 semifinalists for the Butkus Award, as Marshall gets up, and they have a whistle now.
They reset the play clock. Yep.
Big East officiating crew, Eugene Sterator is our referee, and play clock reset. We're ready to go. West Virginia second behind Miami in the Big East in 3rd down conversions. Here's Coburn's about 7 yards behind Marshall, and he gets the pitch. Coburn with a lot of green in front of him picks up the first down. Vilma and Jennings on the stop, but he picked up 10 more yards.
Yeah, he had a touchdown. I'm going to tell you why. If he had a touchdown, if the wide receiver would have got a block. It's a well-executed, 2 tight ends, run the option. Good read by Rasheed Marshall, getting the ball quick to Coburn. Now, if we get that block by the wide receiver, I didn't get your number, that could have been 6 points.
Looked like it was number 26, Michael Page, who was unable to get the block, but at least they got the first down. Coburn, an ankle tackle, he picks up another first down. Antrell Roll might have saved a touchdown.
Yeah, you know, they're getting quick hitters now. What they got to do, they got the tempo going. They got to keep this ball moving. When you want to go quick, no tempo offense, now you got it. Here's the momentum. What they're going to do is run a zone play. Avon has the option to run anywhere he wants inside the tackles. That time he found the hole, he hit it with a great burst.
That was a 16-yard gain. Marshall holding on to it, throwing, completing, another first down. As that goes to tight end Josh Bailey, we go now to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pam. The Irish into Tallahassee is double-digit underdogs. Florida State Got the ball, punted it back. First play from scrimmage. Play action. Carla Holiday rolls out and finds Arnaz Battle, and he's going to go 65 yards. He had a little chop at the end of this play. They were penalized, but the Irish up 7-0.
Notre Dame, nobody's been able to beat them yet. They're 10-point underdogs today. 1st and 10. And Coburn goes up the middle, just picks up a couple that time. Notre Dame, unbeaten. Impressive win against Air Force last week. And their strength of schedule actually will go down a little bit, Chris.
That sort of hurts them in the BCS, but they have some challenges ahead. I like Boston College. They'll have a chance. That's always a great game. And, of course, the great rivalry between Southern Cal and Notre Dame coming up at the end of the year.
Playing that one on the road in L.A. Notre Dame 3rd in the BCS. Miami 2nd. Oklahoma 1st. Marshall keeps it himself, and the quarterback picks up 13. It'll be 1st and goal, Mountaineers.
All right, that's the second quarterback draw that West Virginia has run. Why are they running it, Chris? Well, they're running it because Miami's trying to pressure from the outside. They're running Jonathan Vilma out with a running back because he has man-to-man coverage. He has to vacate the middle. The defensive linemen are getting upfield, wide in their pass rush. All Marshall's doing is reading that and hitting in the hole. It's wide open. They're going to run it until Miami quits blitzing from the outside.
West Virginia averaging almost 7 yards per rush so far in this game. Marshall, very good running quarterback. Avon Coburn up the middle to the goal line, and he's in.
But now see, this is great. Because you got punched in the face, what are you going to do? You're going to fold or you come back with your own counterpunch? West Virginia came back with their own counterpunch, and they did it in a physical manner by running the football down the field.
That is a 35th career touchdown for Avon Coburn. And you're right, Chris, what a way to counter for this Mountaineer team. Todd James' extra point ties this game up. Rich Rodriguez's team keeping it on the ground. A couple of pass plays mixed in, but mostly it's the legs of Avon Coburn, and we are tied up in Morgantown.
ESPN2's presentation of college football brought to you by Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme. It's chicken on a higher level.
And on a higher level here in Morgantown, there's a monorail system, the 30th anniversary of the monorail system that connects the campus here in Morgantown. And a lot of people on that monorail are missing a good game as West Virginia has tied this up at 7 apiece. Kickoff taken at the 4 by Jason Gathers, and Gathers gets a little bit of running room and is stopped down near the 30-yard line. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
All right, Pam, you guys saw Northwestern get tasted by Penn State last week in Happy Valley. Back at home today against Purdue, and, well, things going about the same so far. It's Joey Harris takes the pitch, reverses field, 13-yard touchdown. Boilermakers up 7-0.
Northwestern was indeed, we saw it firsthand last week, just pasted Larry Johnson with a career day for Penn State, and they have fallen behind Purdue early. Let's see what Miami does to counter West Virginia's touchdown. Dorsey to Johnson, the touchdown scorer. Close to another first down. Let's go down to Rob Stone.
Bam, starting Miami wideout Kevin Beard back out on the field. He limped off after the first play on the last series. They called it a left ankle sprain to the inside of his ankle. They retaped it to give him some more support. They also put a neoprene sleeve on his left knee, so basically keep an eye on his entire left leg. Also, Miami on the sideline after that West Virginia touchdown, completely unfazed. Remember, they were tested 2 weeks ago against Florida State. Little touchdown here in Morgantown doesn't bother them at all.
They better get phased a little bit because they're getting the ball run on them constantly the past 2 weeks in a row. They need to make some adjustments or something to start challenging each other.
It's the first time that Kellen Winslow has been thrown to. That is incomplete. In that Florida State game, they literally were run over. Greg Jones had 189 yards on the ground, 296 total for the team.
Well, eventually what's going to happen? They like to play what we call a 2 shell. That's 2 safeties deep. They're going to bring, if they can't stop the run, they're going to bring a safety up and put an 8th man in the inevitable, the popular box, what they call it nowadays.
Didn't work in that second series as Avon Coburn scored the touchdown. Dorsey goes up top, but that is incomplete. Ethnic Sands covered nicely by Lewis Daniels.
Lewis did a good job. They're playing a 3 deep coverage. He understands the rule, deep is the deepest. Forces Sands into the sidelines. Lewis was running with him step for step.
He was using the sidelines as an extra defender.
Yep, that's your 12th defender out there. Know it. Know where you are in the field. Big third down now for West Virginia.
The crowd is definitely into this game. Rich Rodriguez told us yesterday, keep the crowd in it. You never know what could happen. And this crowd is juiced. West Virginia's third down defense, 6th best in the country. On 3rd and 10. Dorsey, time, and it's tipped by Grant Wiley. The leading tackler on this team, battling some hamstring problems, got up that time.
Yeah, and Grant makes a great play here. Why? Because Kevin Beard was wide open in the corner. But see, get a great break on the ball, shows some hops, gets right hand in there. Now, if he didn't get it, you see number 9 coming to your picture late, wide open in the curl zone. Great play by Grant Wiley. Get your depth.
Saved a first down at least. Freddie Capshaw in for his first punt. Fair caught. A rare thing in college football.
I don't understand that.
Lance Frazier with the fair catch. Let's go back to Rob Stone.
Hey, you guys know that a great deal is asked of a coach's time off the field, but Rich Rodriguez takes it to a new level. The day before home games, he becomes a telemarketer.
Hi, this is Coach Rich Rodriguez. We have a great challenge this weekend when the #1 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes, come to Mountaineer Field at noon on Saturday. It would be great if you would come and fill that student section to give our team a huge lift. So stop by the Mountain Lair and pick up your free ticket, and we'll see you on Saturday. Let's go Mountaineer.
Left that on the voicemail for every student here at West Virginia as Coburn picks up a couple. And to add to that, too, Chris, his wife, who went to school here, helped put in the phone system at West Virginia. So it's a family effort.
You better hope the phones are working, or Rich is going to get blamed for that, too.
He says that he has heard about that when people complain about the phones. He says, hey, man, my wife put those in, and people back off a little bit. But that's a great thing to try to get the students involved, get them to come out.
It is great, and Rich cares about this program. He's played here, has a lot invested in it, a lot of years invested in West Virginia football.
Came here as a walk-on, now is the head coach. On 2nd down, Vince Wilfork, one of the backup defensive linemen, making the stop on Avon Coburn.
Yeah, Big Vince is weighing in there at about 350. See, Vince would be a better football player if he was 325. He's a great football player now. He'd be greater if he was a little bit lighter.
He's only a sophomore, and Bill Parcells said last year that he would take Wilfork over any other player on last year's national championship team. So a lot of potential for Wilfork. 3rd and 4. Marshall using his feet. This is his strength. Gets the first down. And more. He is finally pushed out of bounds by Jonathan Vilma. But that's the weapon that Marshall can become.
Well, you want to get him outside on the perimeter so he has a run-pass option. Now, in order for him to be successful, what you need is wide receivers blocking downfield. No panic here. He's still looking. He's still looking. You're going to see a block coming up here in your pitch. Bam! You see him? You see that guy roll through there? That's a great job by his wide receiver, not understanding to protect his quarterback coming up, getting a block, letting him get 10 extra yards. Rashid Marshall.
How about that? He got 19 total for another West Virginia first down. Up the middle, Quincy Wilson drags some guys with him as he goes into Miami territory about a yard short of the first down. Rocky McIntosh making the stop.
See, now I'm seeing the big guys, part of that wave of defensive linemen. A couple of them got their hands on their hips. They might want to think about getting a new wave in. This wave's getting tired.
And they do like to do that wave. As we told you at the top of the show, they have 8 defensive linemen. What a luxury that they can rotate them in. And the West Virginia coaches say you don't see any drop-off in talent when they do that. It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, and it's almost not fair. But the NFL sets the tone for college football. What the NFL does, college football usually is not far behind. In college football, that's why defensive linemen are such a popular item if they can get them in the draft, so that you have fresh bodies coming at an offensive line, which you don't have the luxury of substituting, because on the offensive line, you guys need to work together with the same people. Defensive line, see ball, get ball, roll. Go get the quarterback.
A lot more simple philosophy.
Yes,
huh?
see ball, get ball.
Your defensive guys. Look at those numbers, Chris.
Yeah, that's what West Virginia needed to do to win this football game, is do what they do best, run it.
For the second straight week, Miami is being run on big time. 2nd and 1 as Marshall looks around.
I think he's checking option.
Running the option, pitching it to Wilson, and he loses yardage. Terrific play by Rocky McIntosh, a true freshman from Gaffney, South Carolina, where they go backwards. Speaking of the NFL, we got it for you tomorrow night. How about the Colts and the Redskins? Coverage begins with NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime football. And the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, rotates quarterbacks like Miami rotates defensive linemen almost.
Jay Matthews, your flavor of the week.
The 3rd starting quarterback already for Washington. 3rd and 7 after that loss. So Marshall goes upstairs. His receiver, Henderson, slipped down.
That's twice I've seen West Virginia players slip. Now, I can understand Miami players slipping, not being used to this surface. But if you're a West Virginia player, you shouldn't be slipping on your own surface.
So that's an unfortunate possession. Remember, they were 2nd and less than a yard from a first down, got a loss on the pitch, and then the incompletion. So
Canes are coming.
Here comes the punt.
They don't have the number 2 guy covered. There's the fake right there. He's not covered.
That's Fazil.
He missed him. He missed.
Intercepted. It was Quantrin Hill, the fullback, playing on special teams. So a little trickery for West Virginia. Doesn't quite work out. Miami has the ball back. Mark Fazzolari showing us why he's a punter and not a quarterback.
Well, they had him wide open here. They had Dirty Davis right here wide open. Now you'll see when they snap the ball, they got Angel covered, but nobody's covering Dirty. Dirty's saying, throw it to me, I'm wide open. But no, they throw it to where the guy's covered. That's why he's a punter and not a quarterback.
Right.
Big play from Miami, though. Big turnover. And I give West Virginia, hey, what do you got to lose? Go for it, man. Fakes, do everything you got to do to win this game.
Rodriguez said that he was going to do that, told his guys just to play hard, take some chances. That one didn't work. As McGahee picks up 2, we take you to Matt Weiner.
All right, Pat, we check into the ACC, North Carolina. Remember, they lost their quarterback for the rest of the season. They're taking on Wake Forest, and they're behind. James McPherson, 13 yards to Ray Thomas. Wake up on Carolina. Meanwhile, you Big East fans, Pitt and Boston College tied at 3 in the first.
Thank you, Matt. Boston College going to play Notre Dame in a couple weeks coming up. As it's 2nd and 8, McGahee with the short game, go right back to him, and he is stacked up. Hit again by Grant Wiley.
Now, that's a nice little battle right there. They run the power play this time. McGahee, you'll notice, you'll see the line coming out. They get the backside guard pulling, but McGahee cuts it up inside. Instead of falling his blockers right there, he's going to hit it back up here. Grant getting off blocks, lowering his shoulder. McGahee's a big hog, Grant. Bring your neck roll.
Boy, and Wiley playing so well, so effectively. You see the Jason Davis, the nose guard, and Wiley battling some hamstring problems, and he has played very well here in the first quarter. 3rd and 5. Plenty of time for Dorsey. His receiver slips. That's Andre Johnson, but a flag is down in the Miami backfield. Holding against Miami, so they will punt the ball away, and that's the 3rd slip we've seen on this field already today.
Well, you got the whole West Virginia sideline.
On the offense, the penalty is declined. 4th down.
Doing a decline sign because they don't want, even if they would back it up to get better field position, in this case they wouldn't. But even if you did want to take that penalty, no way, because you don't want to give Miami another opportunity to run a play.
Even if it was 1st and whatever,
right,
you don't want to give it to them. You see the penalties, Chris, have really been hurting the Hurricanes. They were penalized for over 100 yards in last week's game against Florida State, but they're still unbeaten. Lance Frazier back to get Freddie Capshaw's punt. And that one skips into the end zone. The Mountaineers will get it from their own 20. Coming up, College Football Saturday continues this evening on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern Time. Damon Dowdell will be the quarterback for Michigan State against Wisconsin. Then at 7:45 Eastern Time on ESPN, College Football Saturday, presented by the U.S. Postal Service. It's Alabama and Tennessee. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword is schedule. Big Ten standings, Iowa sitting pretty, and Ohio State, Michigan also unbeaten in the league.
Wisconsin a must-win up there against Michigan State.
Jeff Smoker suspended for the rest of the season for violating team policy. That's all that has been disclosed as that play goes backwards, a bobble, as Rasheed Marshall holds on to it, but West Virginia loses a few.
Yeah, that's a wasted play. That's one you don't need to have if you're West Virginia, but I like what Miami's doing now to counter the running game. That time, they brought up the safety to put him in the box. You saw Sean Taylor came up late from his safety position to put that 8th player in the box, so there's not enough people to block if you run the football. There he is.
Taylor, sophomore from right in Miami. That's a 7-yard loss on first down. Coburn hit at the line of scrimmage, gets away, keeps his feet rolling. Avon picks up 10. Such a nifty runner and a guy that probably a lot of the country doesn't know about.
Yeah, DJ Williams comes up and fills the hole, but Avon had a little something for him. Avon said, I'm not going to give you a clean shot. Bam, that's a great spin move. And frankly, I don't see that used enough by running backs. That's an older move that guys used to use. As a linebacker play, and it used to be very difficult that guys would hit, spin on contacts. It's tough to wrap them up, especially the guy with the loaded built ground like Avon has. These guys are tough to get your hands on.
Old school move that works. Avon is split out wide to the right, and Marshall's pass is batted down with authority at the line of scrimmage. Big old number 98, Cornelius Green, getting in there.
Yeah, that's not the old quarterback from Ohio State, Cornelius Green. This is Cornelius Green, the defensive lineman, with a great power rush, getting a big paw up there to swipe the ball down.
He's a little bit bigger than Ohio State's Cornelius Green.
Yeah, Corny was about 165.
This Cornelius Green is 255, at least. Fazzolari's third punt skips out of bounds, and Miami will take over at the 42. Only a 34-yard punt. Fazzolari. We salute now all the Sky Soldiers of the 173rd Airborne Brigade serving in Vicenza, Italy, and watching the game on the American Forces Network. We salute you for your dedication and hard work, and we're so glad that you could take some time out and watch some football on Saturday, get a chance to see the #1 team in the nation. But they're up against it so far, tied with West Virginia. McGahee gets around the corner and is muscled out of bounds at midfield by Lewis Daniels. An 8-yard gain for McGahee. And McGahee really getting his chance because Frank Gore had a knee injury in preseason. Gore has been redshirted for this year, and McGahee, the talent is just, it's unbelievable. One guy after another.
And Frank's down there in scout team now.
He was Avon Coburn as a scout team guy against the first defense. He ran in for a touchdown during practice. Now McGahee with similar thoughts. Another huge gain for him as he gets it down to the 35. Lance Frazier with the stop.
Well, I like what they're doing here with Willis. Now they're putting him back deep in the backfield. They're giving the ball what they call zone running play, where he has the option to hit it anywhere he wants it. And that time, the one thing you notice about Willis, every time he's tackled, his shoulders are always going forward. He will fall down forward when he's tackled. He doesn't go sideways or he doesn't go backward. That's to show his strength as a runner. It's tough to do.
He had 4 straight 100-yard games broken against Florida State last week, and one time he picks up a couple. But still against Florida State last week, he was no schmo as he only picked up 95 yards.
Well, you see again the strength right there. David Upchurch had him. Now David Upchurch is not a little fella. He's a big guy. But Willis ran through him because David wasn't able to wrap him up, because when you hit a guy of his power, you really got to wrap him up because you tend to bounce off of those type of guys. They're like springs. It's like hitting a moving truck.
Upchurch, 6'3", 285, unable to get him on that play. 2nd and 6. Play action. Dorsey off the fingertips of Roscoe Parrish. A little bit too much zip on that pass.
Yeah, and you know, a good call though. Why is it a good call? Because they were successful running the ball. Now you want to come back with your play action, you want to hit your post. What Miami tries to do in their passing game is they'll run people underneath and they'll run people behind, hoping to get the linebackers to jump the underneath, and they'll hit the guys behind.
Dorsey has cooled off. He's now thrown 5 straight incompletions after starting the day 3 for 3 with a 70-yard touchdown pass. 3rd and 6, crowd into it. All the time in the world, thrown underneath, but he threw to the wrong side of Kevin Beard.
Yeah, he's got to deliver that football now. He knows it. He's over there pounding his fist at himself. Yeah, get your head up, though. But you got to deliver that one. He was wide open on the drag route.
Dorsey frustrated. He completing 54% of his passes so far this season, but his percentages have been going down year by year by a couple of percentage points, and some of the nitpickers are looking at that. It's a field goal attempt, 47 yards, and it is true for Todd Severs.
That would have been good from 67. That was back by the weight room by the West Virginia Stadium.
So Severs capitalizing on that field goal opportunity, and Miami takes its 2nd lead of the game. West Virginia's rushing offense about what we expected with Avon Coburn.
Yeah, he has the ability, great vision, balance. Rasheed Marshall doing it with his feet. Good job by blocking by the offensive line. All of it's working for West Virginia as far as running the football.
Coburn has 65 yards already on the ground, including that touchdown. You see his average over 7 yards per carry on the season. He's averaging about 5.5 yards a carry, and is already over 1,000 yards on the season coming into this game.
Really a guy that probably does not get the national attention or his national due. Just a tremendous guy good kid who produces week in and week out.
And has done that all 4 years here at West Virginia. And another touchback. Todd Severs 3 for 3 on touchbacks today. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pam. An update from Boston College at Pittsburgh. Rod Rutherford looking for his new favorite target. Larry Fitzgerald, the talented freshman, goes up and grabs it. Panthers up on top 10-3. Meanwhile, Notre Dame scored on their very first possession. A sustained drive this time. A field goal makes it 10-3.
Thank you, Matthew. Notre Dame, boy, what a story. Week after week, they just keep winning football games.
Yeah, they believe in themselves now. That's for a very dangerous football team.
And that is something that we've seen. I mean, it's so true with every football team, the belief, the confidence. Quincy Wilson in the backfield as Marshall fakes to him and then goes to the air. Second time that he has used that play to Josh Bailey as tight end. That's a 20-yard gain. And Sean Taylor a little banged up.
Yeah, Sean's taking on a 260-pound tight end on a bootleg. What they're doing is they're sucking in Jameel Green. See, Jameel's in here. He's got to be outside containing that. Finding Josh Bailey on a crossing route or bootleg. There's a good block by receiver downfield.
Bailey,
Big fella.
I tell you, Bailey only had 5 catches coming into the season. A flag flies. He has 2 catches already today. Vilma getting in there on Wilson. We'll check out the flag.
And one thing West Virginia do is they can't have penalties. When they have positive yardage, you got to take advantage of it. They're not a team that will operate from 2nd and 15, 3rd and 12.
But instead, another flag, another penalty against Larry Coker's Miami Hurricanes.
Legal participation on the defense. Penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
That's a biggie.
Yep. That's on the bench. That's on the bench right there. Player comes out, you got to get the right people in.
Well, Sean Taylor is over there favoring an arm, the sophomore from Miami, taking a seat. And with that 15-yard penalty, it's a first down for West Virginia now on the 45 of Miami.
They're still confused. They got people running in and out of there.
Is that because of the no-huddle, hurry-up offense?
I think when Sean Taylor got hurt, they didn't know who to put in there.
All right, up the middle. Couple of yards for Quincy Wilson, who has remained in the game. Jamal Green making the stop. So after 1 quarter of play, all West Virginia wanted to do was be in the game. They were in the game, only down 3.
Watch Monday Night Countdown, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, delivered by UPS.
Only by 3 to Miami. Let's go down to Rob Stone.
Pam, Miami defensive back Sean Taylor, you saw just moments ago, couldn't even make it to the bench. He was in so much pain, writhing on the sideline. They said it's a stinger. He's already back out on the field. Those Miami guys are tough.
You ever played with the stinger? I bet you played with several.
Yeah.
maybe
those aren't fun.
Up the middle, it's Quincy Wilson again as he takes it down to the 40, picks up a couple. We have third down coming up. Let's take a look now at our ESPN2 game track. Brought to you by 1-800-CALL-ATT. How about Avon Coburn? Touchdown run, and then this fake punt ends in an interception. Mazzolari throwing to the wrong guy. He had James Davis open on the right side, but instead the trick play did not work. But West Virginia is hanging in there as Marshall's pass is incomplete, going for Wilson.
Sean Taylor coming up from free safety in his man-to-man coverage, taking a good angle, forcing Rashid to throw a bad pass. That's what happens. You got 3rd and 5. Miami has the speed to get there with the blitz. When you blitz, either you want to disrupt the quarterback, either hit him or make him throw early, disrupt the timing.
And this is the punter, the hang time punter, Todd James, and he gets good hang time. A little bit too much mustard on it as it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So West Virginia trailing by 3. Canes have the ball when we return. Number 1 team in the country playing a close game for the 2nd game in a row. Remember, they eked out the win 2 weeks ago against Florida State. Just a field goal lead here against Miami. Kyle Kobia gets his. Make it Willis McDahey with the carry, picks up a couple. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pam. LSU very much in the BCS hunt, but the defense a little depleted without Damian James in there. It's Ronnie Brown, 5 yards for Auburn. Remember, he had 163 in backup with Cadillac Williams last week, and 7-0 there. Meanwhile, Purdue up 21-0.
Well, Northwestern has not scored in a long time. Down 21-0. After losing 49-0 last week to Penn State. Dorsey on that rollout he loves so much, and that is incomplete for Kevin Beard. And Dorsey, remember, started out so strongly. Now, he was 3 for 3 at one point. Now 7 straight incompletions, Chris.
Yeah, you know, to me, Ken Dorsey's a better thrower when he gets his feet set. He has a little bit of difficulty throwing on the run. That's what I've seen so far today. Every time he's thrown on a run, he's either low-balled it or high-balled it. That time his feet weren't set. He high-balled the throw.
Here's a big 3rd and 8. If Miami can be stopped here, West Virginia might get the ball back in decent field position. Miami just 1 for 4 so far on 3rd downs. Time, tons of it. For Dorsey, throws high, incomplete. Wiley coming up to make the stick on Kevin Beard.
Yeah, now what West Virginia's doing is they're showing blitz. Then they're going to drop 8. They want to get Dorsey to take a look at it. Look and think it's blitz. They're not. They're dropping 8. They're only rushing 3. You see Grant Wiley playing a linebacker, breaking on the football. He does a great job of cutting the receiver and arriving when the ball arrives so he doesn't get the interference. He's a natural. He's a natural linebacker that's great instincts. A lot like Jonathan Vilma on the other side.
Perfect timing as that snap is a little low, but Capshaw is able to punt it away cleanly. Lance Frazier takes it, and he is downed immediately at the 38-yard line by Glenn Sharp. 42-yard punt, only a 3-yard return. West Virginia has the football again.
ESPN2's presentation of college football brought to you by Saturn, makers of The View, redesigned L-Series, and the all-new Ion. And by new Campbell's Chunky Roasted Favorites, hearty soups that fill you up right.
Welcome back to Morgantown. West Virginia only down by 3. The Hurricanes have won 4 straight in this series by an average of 22.5 points a game, but just have a 3-point lead so far this afternoon. Coburn, little reverse as it comes back to Travis Garvin, and the wide receiver picks up a huge chunk of yardage. It was a 28-yard gain, Chris.
Yeah, it's a great call because of Coburn being so effective running the football. They get the whole white helmets pursuing one day. Now, if Rashid gets a block down here, he could go the distance. Rashid misses Taylor. Taylor again coming from free safety position, using the sideline, knock him out of bounds. A good call because Coburn's been effective. You're able to run that type of play.
The Miami defense goes with Coburn, and then they reverse it on him. Big gain all the way down now to the 33-yard line. This time Coburn gets it and keeps it. And gets it down to the 30 as he plunges through. We are in Morgantown, West Virginia for the #1 team in the country, Miami, taking on a West Virginia football team that comes in with 5 wins. West Virginia just 1 game away from being bowl eligible. Pam Ward, Chris Spielman, and Rob Stone joining you on an autumn afternoon. Overcast skies, but the sun has been shining so far for Rasheed Marshall and West Virginia, staying toe-to-toe with Miami. Coburn again. Only picks up a couple that time as DJ Williams makes the stop.
It's interesting to watch West Virginia in their no huddle. What they'll do is Rasheed Marshall will take a look over at Rich Rodriguez and the guy in the yellow coat. The coach in the yellow coat and the yellow hat so Rasheed can see him. He'll get the play from them. The coaches will read the defense. They'll relay the play to Rasheed, tell him to run it or switch it. Right there, you see him doing those signals? That's how they do it. Rasheed will look over and see if it's okay to run.
And they say it's okay to pass as Marshall goes up and throws that away. Good decision.
Yes.
Because DJ Williams was pressuring him and his receivers were double covered, both of them, down on that side of the field.
Yeah, that's a smart play. Instead of trying to make something happen, throws the ball away. You're at 4th down. You're in 4-down territory or field goal territory, one or the other.
And Todd James, a field goal kicker, his season and career long is only 37 yards. This will be a 45-yarder.
For West Virginia to stay in this game, they have to score when they get opportunities to score.
And let's see if James can get a new career long and tie this game up.
Yep.
And that is no good. He missed it wide left.
It's tough. You can't give away points when you're playing the #1 team in the land. You got a chance to put them on the board.
The kicking game has been sort of a sore spot for this West Virginia team. James not a big leg, and Rodriguez as frustrated as anyone. And he was unable to come up with points. Of course, the punters have struggled as well this season. Today, join ABC Sports. We have an outstanding day of regional college football at 3:30 Eastern. Many of you will see Penn State and Ohio State. Others, Iowa State, Texas, USC, Oregon, Virginia, Georgia Tech. Log on to ESPN.com to see which game you will see in your area. Right there, we saw not much of a gain at all for McGahee. A lot of people, I would imagine the share in Columbus and in Pennsylvania is going to be pretty high in the Ohio State-Penn State game.
It's a huge game, and we did Penn State last week. They definitely have their swagger back, and in my opinion, the biggest challenge for Ohio State thus far this season.
Well, Larry Johnson was something last week with 257 yards, a new single-game rushing record, and he only played about 3 quarters. Dorsey over the middle, and that one is complete to Kevin Beard. He's been going to him often, and they connect down to the 44-yard line.
Well, again, he had an opportunity to set his feet. He had a deep drop, and Kevin Beard's running a route about 17 yards. And they throw it right over this middle linebacker here, Ben Collins. Ben has got to get depth, understanding that if people are in front of you, somebody's coming behind. That's the rule. Get depth, turn your head, and look at him if you have to. At least if I'm coaching, that's what I'm telling them. It's going to come to them every single time. They're going to want you to jump on the underneath so they can hit you over the top.
And with that completion, it's a new Miami record Dorsey has set. Will embellish in a moment, but first he's looking for more, and that's incomplete, going to Roscoe Parrish. And Ken Dorsey, with that last completion, has passed Gino Torretta and now has the most passing yardage in the history of Miami football.
That's saying a lot right there with the tradition of great quarterbacks. Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar, Gino.
Vinny Testaverde up there as well. So, and there are some other records. In fact, there are at least a couple more that he could break today. We will keep you abreast of that. 2nd and 10, though, after the incompletion, looking for Parrish. Whistle, no play, as flags come down.
A little jumpy up there for Miami.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
We had another penalty against Larry Coker's team. They will travel back 5 yards, and there you see it, updated. 7 yards more than Gino Torretta had when he left here 10 years ago.
Played with Gino, Detroit for a couple days.
Couple days?
Couple days. I think Gino was there for a while.
He
Good
was
guy.
Viking for a while. Kind of bounced around a little bit in the NFL, but was a terrific quarterback and a Heisman winner.
Absolutely.
And Dorsey might become one of those later this year. 2nd and 15 after the penalty. Little pump fake, then he goes the other way. Good block by his offensive lineman. Fumble of Miami. Can't get it. West Virginia falls on the football, but there's a flag. Boy, Chris Myers had a great block to spring him.
There's Coach Coker. Got a flag. He's pointing the flag. A great call by Miami running the scheme. Last week, McGahee took one a while. Great job of Grant Wiley coming in, stripping the football. Now the offensive lineman, get down on it, you big man. You can't run with the ball. Secure the football. There's West Virginia Blue Helmets running to the ball. Great pursuit.
It's Carlos Joseph, the 6'6", 335, trying to pick it up and run. Kevin Freeman got the fumble.
Yeah, Kevin did a great job. Kevin from his defensive lineman position, defensive end, hustling downfield on the screen, stripping McGahee. The Blue Helmets running the ball. Big Carlos has got to get down on it. You're not a running back, kid. You're a blocker.
And the penalty was against Miami, called for an illegal block in the back. Obviously, West Virginia didn't want it. They get the football back in the first turnover forced by West Virginia. And Marshall, a nifty move, making something out of nothing, picked up a couple. Aaron Harris making the stop. He's 3 deep on that defensive line for this Miami football team. Boy, Grant Wiley has played very well so far today, forcing that fumble, stripping the ball.
Right there, Rasheed Marshall, again, his maturity starting to show because he made a good decision avoiding a negative play. They took their shot, a 2-man deep route, wasn't there, gained 2 yards and avoided a sack. Good decision making by Rasheed.
Rich Rodriguez says that has been the main change in his quarterback as Wilson gets it, goes around the left side and picks up another West Virginia first down. Rodriguez and a lot of these West Virginia players really pointing to the loss against Maryland here 3 weeks ago where they got pasted. They were down 35-0 rather early as a flag is down, and since then they've played very, very well, a lot better.
Now again, penalties are going to kill this West Virginia team. They need positive yards. They're not a functional offense when they get beyond the sticks past 10 yards. It's tough for them to function.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is 10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
So that negates the Wilson first down run. Take a look at our Aflac trivia question. West Virginia 0-8 all-time against top-ranked teams. We want to know which is the highest-ranked team that West Virginia has defeated in their school history. We'll have the answer a little bit later on in the game as they try to, in their 9th time, try to beat a #1 team. 2nd and 16 after the holding call. Marshall all by himself out of the shotgun, completes the pass up to the 38-yard line to Avon Coburn. Avon with 10 catches on the season coming into this game.
It's a nice little matchup they have out there, and I'll tell you, DJ Williams did a good job of making a pretty quick tackle, man-to-man coverage on Avon Coburn. But if you can get that matchup as an offensive guy, you like it anytime you get a quick little scat back like Avon Coburn on a linebacker. DJ did a good job in position.
And he, along with Velmet, is one of the semifinalists for the Butkus Award, so 2 very talented linebackers for Miami. A little bit of a jump, flag flies, could be a free play, and it is incomplete. Kelly Jennings had his hands on the football, but it looked like Miami was offsides.
Yeah, they got a freebie there.
So Marshall taking the chance on that pass, and they'll get 5 more yards. Penalties flying both ways.
Aaron Harris.
Repeat, 3rd down.
Jumped a little bit. Good hard count. I'd hard count him again.
And that was something that Florida State had success with last week, varying the snap count, or 2 weeks ago in their last game. So that game plan worked for Florida State, and Rasheed Marshall and West Virginia made it work that time.
Right here, A.J. Nastasi's been out for a while. One of their top receivers coming back for this game. Very valuable receiver, can catch the ball. Great hands.
Nastasi led them in receptions last season. And another penalty.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So they get 5 yards and then give it right back, Chris.
You know, if you're playing this defense, When you have a 3rd and 3, it's manageable. Why? Because Rasheed Marshall has the ability to get 3 yards with his feet. Not that he doesn't have the ability to get 8, but when you give this team, Miami, a chance to run, usually they're going to catch up.
The second penalty accepted against West Virginia. 3rd and 8. Got 4 wide receivers in. Coburn out in the pattern, and he's going towards him, but overthrew him.
Yeah, and they had him wide open because Vilma's looking at his buddy and saying, who's got who? And if he would have hit A.J. Coburn, he's still running because they blitzed. Nobody picked up Coburn in the backfield. All's Rasheed. You see, Rick says, Rasheed, just throw him the ball. Just deliver it to him. Take your time, be patient. Right there, give him the ball. It's that easy. It's a lot harder, though, believe me.
Yeah, must be, or else everybody could do it. Azzolari with the punt, and he angles that towards the sidelines. And Miami will get the football back at the 31 after only a 32-yard punt. Miami only up by 3 as Rasheed Marshall and the rest of West Virginia team. Marshall misfiring on a pass, and Miami gets it back after another punt. And McGahee picks up about 7 more as Grant Wiley makes yet another tackle.
Yeah, they came out quick count West Virginia that time, and they were able to do that because they came out with a different formation, had West Virginia outflanked. That's why McGahee was able to go for 8. You got to get lined up. Coming out of a break or no huddle, you come out, you line up, you quick count. Smart move by Larry Coker and his offensive staff.
Already has over 50 yards this afternoon. And he goes for a couple more as he takes it up to the 40. Let's go back to Matt Winer.
All right, Pam, let's go back to Wake Forest and North Carolina. 10-0 game, Wake on top, and Wake at it again. James McPherson rolls out, looks for Jason Anderson. He's got him. Nice little move, gets himself into the end zone. Demon Deacons on top, 17-0. Meanwhile, Purdue up 21-7. Northwestern finally on the board.
Good news for Northwestern is I believe it was at least 70 straight points scored against them. Big 3rd down on 3rd and 1. Dorsey completes it for the 1st down, and that is Kellen Winslow's first catch. The very talented tight end, the son of who else but Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, Kellen Winslow's a big target, and I'm going to tell you what West Virginia did wrong here now. 3rd and 1, you have to front these receivers up, understanding that they're going to run to the sticks. If you're playing inside coverage, like on a tight end, you can't give them that kind of a cushion, or it's pitch and catch. Automatic 1st down. Dorsey's a smart guy. Winslow's a smart guy. They're going to know when to cut the route off.
Winslow, a tough competitor, only a sophomore. Not much on that 1st down carry, about a yard from McGahee. And Winslow, a career-high 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown against Florida State last week. And he's not the only guy in this Miami team whose dad or brother played in the NFL.
Yeah, it's just tremendous. And they'll keep feeding the Miami system as long as these guys keep having kids and brothers and everything. They're going to keep going to Miami.
Jarrett Payton, the son of the great Walter Payton, has been nicked up by injury. Used as a kick returner mostly this year. Dorsey gets it off. All alone is Hill, his fullback, and Hill picks up another Miami 1st down.
Now, Hill did a good job of weaving his way through traffic to get out in the flat. And again, it's set up by play action. And Dorsey, again, a master at reading coverage. See Hill? See, he's going to weave his way through traffic there. Guys are sucking up for the run. He's just going to run in the flat. The corner's coming off late because he's in deeper zone coverage to make a play. Good job in recognition. That's what Ken Dorsey has, is recognition of the weakness of the defense and how to exploit that weakness.
Hill's dad, Eddie, played for the Dolphins. He is only a redshirt freshman. Dorsey, right side. Oh, that's well overthrown. Andre Johnson in the general vicinity of that pass. And he's looking at Johnson like you said, you should have kept on running.
No, well, you got to throw the football to him. Now Johnson wouldn't have got that if he's bringing Kobe Bryant hops. That was way up. He's throwing a couple high balls today. He's got to be able to deliver that accurate outcut quicker.
Dorsey 7 for 17, 127 yards, 7 for 18 now, and the 1 touchdown that came very early, in fact, on Miami's first drive. Nothing doing since then as Gathers gets the football, and Gathers spelling McGahee on that play.
Yeah, that's the clones. I mean, I was down on the field earlier. They're clones of each other. They're 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds. They look the same. They just have different numbers.
Gathers was a Parade High School All-American, Parade Magazine High School All-American. Scored the game-winning touchdown against Florida State a couple of weeks ago. And it's 3rd and 7. And again, this Mountaineer crowd has been in this game since the very beginning, exhorting the defense on. Dorsey with late pressure gets his underneath guy. Again, it's Andre Johnson, and he skips out of bounds, picking up the first down, 10-yard gain.
They love to run underneath routes. You see Andre Johnson coming from across the field all the way. Look how shallow he's going to ring this route. He's rubbing people off, and this is what he does best. Once he gets the ball speed, see, the West Virginia defender had a chance to tackle him short of sticks, but he said, wait a second, this guy's faster than the Temple guy. This guy's faster than Rutgers guy. Andre Johnson can get it and go once he catches it.
We saw that earlier today. He had a 42-yard catch and run for Miami's only touchdown. Nothing going there for Gathers, who is stacked up on first down. Aflac trivia question and now answer. West Virginia 0-8 all-time against top-ranked teams. What's the highest-ranked team that they have ever beaten? It is the University of Miami. They were number 4 back in '93 when they were beaten here in Morgantown 17-14. And then there was Doug Flutie's Boston College Club in '84. West Virginia beat them 21-20. So they're trying to go where they've never gone before today, and that is beating a number 1 team.
We talked to Coach Rodriguez yesterday about what an opportunity this is to play the number 1 team in the country in your stadium.
McGahee back in, and he was faked to, and then the pass completed. Good hit put on Quadrim Hill. This is James Dirty Davis with the hit. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Pam, Florida State had the answer for the Irish's long scoring drive. 10-3 game. The Seminoles put on a 20-play drive of their own. Chris Ricks to Anquan Bolden. Look at Bolden go. 39 yards, he'll take it. He won't get in, but the Seminoles punch it in 3 plays later, and that's a 10-all ball game. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech up on Temple. Remember, the Owls upset Tech as a 35-point underdog 4 years ago.
What an upset if they did it again. 3rd and 4, Estrada with the pressure, but the pass is completed anyway. Down to the 1-yard line, Kevin Beard. Boy, did Dorsey hang in there.
He did hang in there, and that's a great job of adjusting on the ball by Beard. The ball was thrown behind, but still able to swivel his hips and make the catch with his hands. Now, Angel Estrada comes scot-free and does a good job. Takes a shot on Dorsey and finishes. But watch Beard here running what they call a 7-cut. That's a little out cut, working one-on-one. And again, the Miami receivers, after they catch the ball, they turn into running backs.
Well, they did a great job adjusting to the football. Winslow and Winston, 2 tight ends in for Miami. They're going to try to punch it in. Flags are down. McGahee into the end zone for the touchdown. And once again, we'll have to check out the markers.
Yeah, they got a substitution violation, I believe. Yep.
Miami is celebrating. They believe McGahee has scored his 12th touchdown of the year.
Offside on the defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
And he has indeed scored his 12th touchdown of the year. So a big 3rd down play. Beard setting up McGahee's touchdown run on a drive that took 5 minutes. That is an eternity for this Miami team. Extra point by Sievers is good. So Willis McGahee and Miami coming up with a couple of big 3rd down conversions on this drive, and they now lead West Virginia by 10. So Miami fans here in Morgantown happy now that Miami's extended its lead to 17-7. That last scoring drive took 5 minutes on the dot. The 3rd longest scoring drive time-wise this year for Miami. They've only had 2 others over 5 minutes.
That's an absolutely amazing stat. And that just shows you the big play potential that this team has, especially in the receiver corps.
Quick strike ability. Here's an anomaly. It's not a touchback. Phil Braxton taking it up to the 40-yard line. Todd Sievers for the first time today, not a touchback. West Virginia made him pay. Let's go down to Rob Stone.
Bam, no wonder Ken Dorsey's on the verge of breaking all the Miami passing records. He's got a ton of wideouts that want the ball. Look at them after every offensive series. They're behind the bench, tying up all those phone lines. There's 6 phones over there, and they're all being used half the time. Now, I got to tell you about those coaches upstairs, Chris. They might want to think about hiring an operator to handle all that incoming call.
Well, you know what? Communication is huge.
They all talking to the same guy or different guys?
I believe they got to be talking to the wide receiver coach who's upstairs. He's on one line explaining to them all what needs to be done.
Dorsey's numbers at 50% with that touchdown. Todd Severs, by the way, the kickoff guy, had his helmet knocked off in kick coverage, and he is just now leaving the field under his own power.
Yeah, kicker coming up and making a good hit. I'll tell you, that's the first I've ever seen a kicker getting his helmet knocked off making a tackle. I'll give him credit for courage.
He's a big guy too, Chris.
Yeah.
6'3", 215.
Yeah, he can bring it.
Only the second player ever from the state of Iowa to letter at the University of Miami. Big guy getting his hat knocked off, and we'll see him again later in the game. 1st and 10, 4 minutes, approaching the 4-minute mark in the first half. Coburn quickly keeping his feet, going to midfield. Jonathan Vilma with the tackle.
Yeah, see, now when you play a 2-shell or 2-deep look like Miami, you have 7 people up front. And why West Virginia is doing this, they're going to a 2-back because they're creating a gap inside where there's not enough people. You see the lead block by the fullback here, Jonathan Vilma, overrunning in the play, breaking the tackle of Rocky McIntosh. That's Avon Coburn. See him put that hand down there for balance. You can't teach that. That's natural running back skills.
Instincts for the Pittsburgh native, or the Cherry Hill, New Jersey native, excuse me, Rasheed Marshall, the quarterback, is from up the road in Pittsburgh. Coburn faked. Marshall holds on to it. Does a good juke around Sean Taylor to pick up an extra yard or 2. That's a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a great call by it's a quarterback trap. And you see the backside tackle, Nemo, come around here, kick out. Rasheed will follow him inside. Good job blocking DJ Williams right there. Nice little kick out block, good read by Rasheed Marshall. See, a running quarterback can read the holes in the blocks like running backs.
Marshall grew up in the same neighborhood that Major Harris grew up in, another great quarterback here in West Virginia history. And he's trying to keep that tradition alive. Coburn, boy, he was wrapped up right away from behind. Hit the hole quickly, and the Miami defense was on top of him. Cornelius Green, Andrew Williams.
Andrew Williams came there from his defensive end spot. Watch, he's just going to shoot down the line.
He's Green with the first hit.
Cornelius Green coming in. Andrew coming up top. That's where you'll set up that little play action now. If those defensive ends are going to crash down inside like that, you're going to fake it to Coburn. You're going to run the keeper around the end.
3rd and 1.
Comes the blitz.
Marshall out of the shotgun with the blitz showing. And he's going up top for Braxton. And that one didn't look good from the get-go. Kelly Jennings was step for step.
Well, they run the fade. Kelly Jennings does a great job of using his body, looking and leaning. That way you're allowed to have contact if you're looking and leaning. And Kelly Jennings, great speed on the corner, forces the wide receiver out. What you want to do there is now underthrow that. When you see the position of the corner on top of the receiver, underthrow it, let your guy come back and get the ball.
4th and less than a yard. Obviously, West Virginia was going to go for it. They're 0 for 1 already on 4th down today. And this time, they go to their bread and butter. Coburn breaks the tackle, gets a nice block from Braxton, and takes it down to the 25. There's a good wide receiver block for you.
It's a good job. Now they're going to run to the bubble. What's the bubble, Chris? It's when nobody's covered. Right here's the bubble. You'll see they'll lead out to it right there. Missed tackle. You got to wrap him up. Taylor, he's got balance. He's got power. And it's a lead play. You get a good block by the fullback on DJ Williams. You don't wrap people up. Avon Coburn will make you pay. You got to wrap him up.
Coburn, not a guy with a great 40 time, but just the quick lateral movement, the way he can move his feet. Unbelievable.
He produces. I don't care what his 40 time is. He produces.
So on 4th down, they go for it, make it, and go up to Wilson, who picks up about 5 more. Here's Matt Weiner.
Pam, coming up on the Saturn halftime report. It's not the game of the century this time, but Notre Dame and Florida State very important to the BCS. Big game in the Big Ten. At least one of the unbeatens will go down in the Big House this afternoon as Iowa and Michigan go at it. Plus LSU and their depleted defense, #1 in the nation, but missing one of their starters against Auburn. We'll wrap it all up with Mark May coming up at the half.
Thank you, Matt. We'll look forward to that coming up in about 1 minute and 45 of playing time. See if West Virginia can get on the board before we go to you, Matt. Marshall keeping it all the way. Gets popped inside about the 18-yard line by Andrew Williams. So another big 3rd and short coming up for West Virginia. Andrew Williams, one of those defensive linemen, talented, fast, and fresh because they keep rotating him in.
8 starters. That's pretty good when you have 2 waves.
Some teams would like to have 4 starters they can rely on. 3rd and 3. Wilson tries to get to the sticks. 3 flags fly simultaneously as he is stopped just short, it appears, of the first down stick.
They're going to have a little face mask here. You see it right here coming up on the replay. And see, I don't know if that's a personal foul face mask.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Oh, I got
Penalty is half the distance.
Yeah, maybe
to the
that
goal.
is a personal foul.
First down.
Didn't mean to do it, but he couldn't let go. 40, Cornelius Green. That was a big left hook, tried to gouge the eyes out.
And a big penalty, Chris, because they had stopped them short of the first down. It would have been 4th and short instead.
No, see, now this West Virginia fans are smarter than this. See, your guys aren't telling you to cheer. They're telling you to be quiet. There you go. Everybody calm down. If you're a West Virginia fan.
1st and goal from the 8. Coburn gets the football, does that spin move. That time it didn't work as Vilma and Williams wrapped him up. More football coming your way tonight on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern time as Wisconsin trying to get themselves bowl eligible, take on the Michigan State Spartans. Then at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN, College Football Saturday presented by the U.S. Postal Service. We got Alabama and Tennessee. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com. The key word is schedule.
Yeah, if you're a fan, check out Charles Rogers. Just an incredible athlete, great wide receiver up in Michigan State.
And a new quarterback for them. Coburn wrapped up. And West Virginia probably going to have to burn a timeout soon as we're inside of 20 seconds, and finally time is called. Wilford, the big guy from Boynton Beach, Florida, making the stop.
Yeah, that was a good job of him holding his ground and delivering a nice hit.
So West Virginia still has 2 timeouts left, but 19 seconds to try to score. West Virginia just burned its first time out. Took a few seconds, though, after that play to call it.
Yeah, you have 19 seconds. You have no option to get a first down. You have 2 timeouts left. 19 seconds gives you plenty of time to run what you need to run. If you don't get ample yardage for the touchdown and you're going to kick the field goal, you have options. A lot of time, you want to call the timeout, get the play you want to get run, and also maybe not to give Miami even a chance to get one offensive play with the weapons that they have.
Remember that this is a West Virginia team that does not really throw the ball very proficiently. They like to run it down here, but 3rd and goal. 3 wide receivers in. Coburn to Marshall's right. Everybody is covered in the end zone. Marshall has to throw it away. Great coverage by that Miami defense. Well, Henderson was in the general vicinity, but again, that was just a throwaway.
Yeah.
So now there's 11 seconds left. 4th and 7. And here comes the field goal unit. Todd James coming in.
This is their second opportunity to get points on the board when they didn't get it the first time. They need to get this going in the half for momentum into the second half.
James missed from 45 yards earlier today. 24 certainly within his range. He's 1 of 2 from the 20s this year. Now make it 2 of 3. So exactly what West Virginia needed as they head into halftime. Still 7 seconds left, though. They're only down 7. Todd James with a 24-yard field goal as Wilfork's team, Vince Wilfork's team, gets a field goal scored against it. The big guy takes a break on heated benches.
Yeah, that's Miami bringing up their own heated benches. And 50 degrees, I guess, is considered cold if you're from Miami. But going back to Wilfork for a second, when Bill Parcells said he would take him out of all the guys, I would take him too, but I'd have him lose 20 pounds. I think he can be a much more effective player because he's explosive at 350. He'd be more explosive at 320 or even 310 for me.
And Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator for Miami, said that the people, the scouts, and certainly his friends look at him. They see great plays and think NFL, but he says you got to look at the whole picture. Yeah. He needs to get more consistent, and Wilfork apparently agrees with him, knows he has some things to work on. Squibber, Jarrett Payton picks it up. And Payton goes down at the 32. Make that Jason Gathers, as there are now 3 seconds left to go in this first half.
If you're Miami now, you just down it, go in. You're on the road in hostile territory. You're up 7. I don't know if that's good enough for Miami, though.
You don't want to just chuck it downfield once, take a chance?
No, not here. I think you take a chance on if they get your quarterback, you might get a turnover. Anything can happen. You're winning the ball game. Take a knee.
He's got 2 wide receivers out to his right, but they got the old protection play coming up. And you're right again, Chris. Dorsey takes a knee, spins the football on the ground, and Miami goes in only leading by 7 points against West Virginia. So the Mountaineers getting that late field goal by Todd James, Avon Coburn scoring on a touchdown earlier in the game. It's only a 7-point lead for Larry Coker, who's standing by with Rob Stone.
Coach, second straight game, teams have had some success running the ball against you. What kind of adjustments do you make at the break?
Well, we've got to get lined up properly, and we've got to really chase the ball. It's about what we expected. West Virginia is an excellent running football team. They're ranked highly and got a great running back, so we just have to do a good job and finish it the second half and do a good job keeping the ball away from their offense.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Pam?
Thank you, Rob. West Virginia, by the way, has 195 rushing yards already in this first half. Only 58 for Miami. We only have a 1-touchdown game. Let's go to Matt Weiner and Mark May for the Saturn halftime report. Matt?
Hi, Pam. Thank you very much. So the big road test for Miami still awaiting Tennessee, and they've got Virginia Tech, of course, waiting on the schedule, but they've got themselves a fight at West Virginia. Welcome again to the Saturn halftime.
Virginia, where at the half, the #1 Miami Hurricanes only lead the hometown Mountaineers by 1 touchdown. A couple of touchdowns. Andre Johnson had a touchdown reception. Willis McGahee, a 1-yard touchdown run. That young man, Avon Coburn, on the cusp of yet another 100-yard game. 98 yards rushing on the ground in the first half. Miami will get the football first here in the second half as the Hurricanes try to tie their school record for consecutive wins. Jason gathers it in about 3 yards deep in the end zone. Flag comes down, Gathers wide open, and then he is dragged down by the shoulders around the 36-yard line. But we'll have to check the marker.
They got a big penalty. Bringing it back. Wilson was tackled, and he didn't have the ball.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah, so that nice run has to come back. Pam Ward here along with Chris Spielman. Now, in the first half, we see again West Virginia or Miami the ability or the inability to stop the run.
Well, if you're Miami, you got to think, okay, Florida State ran the ball down our throat. Now West Virginia's running that ball down the throat. What do we do to adjust? Well, you got to bring a safety up and get 8 men in the box. If you don't have 8 men in the box, West Virginia will exploit that all day long.
And Avon Coburn, again, a couple of yards short of 100 for this game. But Miami, after that penalty, has the ball way back on its own 6-yard line. McGahee trying to get him out of trouble. Fumbles the football, and West Virginia says they have it, and indeed they do. A huge turnover to start the second half.
It is huge because it's a great job of going and tackling the football. Look, you want to beat this team, Grant Riley? Come in and make a play, young man. You're the leader of our defense. Grant Riley will come up and strip the ball. Blue helmets around the ball, covering the ball. See it right here. Here comes Grant Wiley. There's Ben Collins getting in there. Grant Wiley tackled the ball, making a conscious effort to strip the football. Again, that's being a natural football player. Kevin Freeman coming up with the recovery.
That's the second time today, Chris, that Wiley and Freeman have combined on a strip and a fumble recovery. So West Virginia, exactly what the doctor ordered for the Mountaineers. 1st and 10 from the 14. And Marshall takes a timeout as the play clock was winding down. So West Virginia, the early break, we'll see if they can capitalize after Grant Wiley forces another big play.
17-10 Miami. We're back in Morgantown. Spoke with West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez just moments ago. He told me he's thrilled with his team effort, but where they need to do better is right now in these situations. They need to execute in the red zone and finish off their drive.
They were 2 for 2 from the red zone in the first half, but one of them was a field goal. Marshall chased down from behind. There's the speed of those defensive linemen. That's Jerome McDougal chasing him down.
Pam, you said it, the speed of the defensive line. Anytime you have a big guy like Jerome McDougal chasing your quarterback, you're thinking, oh my goodness, now Jerome let him get outside, but he has a makeup speed that not a lot of wide receivers have on other teams to go ahead and get Rasheed Marshall down for a half-yard loss. He'll get a sack for that. Good hustle, Jerome.
Man, 6'4", 271, and he's chasing down a fast, mobile guy in Marshall. Lost a yard. Coburn trying to get something back. Picks up a yard or two at the most.
That's interesting down here in the red zone. West Virginia's kind of going to their too tight offense, which I would like to see them spread the field out again. They were successful running the ball from the spread offense. But right now, Rich is choosing to go with his too tight offense. Now he's coming back to the spread, but it's 3rd down.
3rd and 9. The one tight end in is Josh Bailey. 3 wide receivers. Coburn in the backfield along with Marshall. And a 2 of 11 on 3rd downs today. Not good. Blitz coming. Marshall gets away from it, looking for the end zone, and West Virginia is in.
Having an awareness and a presence to make a play, Rasheed. Reading the blitz, feeling the blitz, spinning away from the blitz, knowing you're in man-to-man coverage. After you get away from the blitz or roll, number 6, who's got to get contained, doesn't get contained. Rasheed beats contained, then beats everybody to the corner of the end zone for 6 points because they're in man-to-man coverage. All the other defenders' backs return. Rasheed recognized that, uses speed to get to the zone.
And that is his 8th touchdown rushing this year. So the fumble forced by Grant Wiley, and then Rasheed Marshall coming in, using those quick feet to get away from roll and get into the end zone. We're all tied up in Morgantown. Rasheed Marshall running it in from 12 yards away, capitalizing on the turnover. Willis McGahee has 2 fumbles, both recovered, forced by Grant Wiley and recovered by Kevin Freeman. And how about this, Larry Coker? This guy has not lost as the head football coach since he was a high school coach in Oklahoma, I believe in 1978, something like that. Long, long time.
Yeah, Larry's the guy, though, will not panic. They'll stay with what they have, 17-17. They know how good they are. This team has been there. They've won championships. They don't panic, and they won't panic.
And that kick is through the end zone. Miami going to get it at its own 20 now in a tie game. Let's take a look at the ESPN2 game track brought to you by 1-800-CALL-8TT. West Virginia on the ground. Marshall taking it in from 12 yards out to tie this puppy up. Avon Coburn. Avon has 100 yards on the ground, and Miami 121 yards after the catch, 121 of its 165 passing yards coming after the catch. Andre Johnson scoring on a 42-yard touchdown pass way back in Miami's first possession of this football game. So Willis McGahee fumbled last time he had it, covers up, and is stacked up, only picks up a yard.
Yeah, David Upchurch does a great job of penetrating, forcing McGahee to kind of run on eggs. He's not running strong, running on eggs. Don't break the eggs, Willis. Watch right here. He's kind of setting it up, but he's not really hitting it in there. Little jumping on eggs, and Upchurch coming in. Guys making the ball bounce side to side. You don't want McGahee running north and south, side to side. That way the other blue helmets come and help you.
Upchurch, a senior from Hyattsville, Maryland. 2nd and 9. Quickly, and that is caught nicely one-handed by Hill, the fullback. Well, that was a better catch than it was throw. That's an 8-yard pickup.
Wasn't a great throw by Dorsey, but the right throw. And that's the difference. And he has athletes that will make these catches and compensate for the bad throw, but he read the blitz, hits the fullback in the flat on blitz control.
Hill has 4 catches for 43 yards. In the first half, Dorsey was only 10 of 20 passing. 3rd and 1. Give it to McGahee, and he does pick up the first down as he hurdles forward past the 35-yard line. NFL football coming your way tomorrow night. It's the Colts and the Redskins at 8:30 Eastern Time. Coverage starts with NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for prime time football. Another starting quarterback for the Redskins. It'll be Shane Matthews. And Peyton Manning has never beaten the Steve Spurrier coach team going back to his college days at Tennessee. Oh, that's a hit by Estrada. Big time.
Well, he just took him to the dark side. That's knocking somebody to the dark side. That's how you play football. 1 step and wrap, 2 steps and squeeze, and bring your feet. Check out Angels coming on run support right here, and bam, to the dark side with you. Outstanding hit by Angels. Trying a good call by Coach Todd Graham of knowing when to blitz and when not to blitz.
Well, the force was with him, was with Estrada as he knocked down McGahee. Loss of 3. Makes it 2nd and 13, showing blitz. They back off. Dorsey, short pass incomplete, going for Hill. Estrada on the coverage that time. The reigning Co-Big East Defensive Player of the Week all over the football field.
Here's what West Virginia's doing. They run blitz. Now they show blitz. You see all these guys up here, they're all showing blitz. And what happens on the snap of the ball, they're only rushing 3. They're getting 8, which counters Miami's blitz control, forced to throw the ball underneath. West Virginia guys breaking out the ball. Rushing 3, dropping 8. That's how they're handling Miami's underneath passing routes. But showing blitz to start.
All right, now 3rd and 13, Chris. Miami has converted its last 4 third downs. Can they make it 5 in a row? Dorsey with time. And another high pass. It is ruled incomplete as McGahee was unable to gather it in.
Yeah, again, now they're getting better depth on their drops, forcing Dorsey to throw underneath. If you're West Virginia, that's fine, because you're going to come up and rally and make the tackle. But the routes they're taking away are at the sticks. That's what you want to do in the zone defense.
Larry Coker's club has to punt it away. They turned the ball over on their first possession of the second half. West Virginia took it right in for the score. Now Freddie Capshaw is in for his 4th punt of the afternoon. Lance Frazier awaits at his 26. And this crowd, which is allowed to leave at halftime and come back into the stadium after they get, shall we say, fortified, is getting into this ball game. That is a high kick by Capshaw, and Frazier for the 2nd time today. Yep, he gets it. He calls the fair catch, wanted the halo call, and he will get it. It was Glenn Sharp who was too close. ABC Sports, the place to be at 3:30 Eastern Time for a great day of college football. Regional action including Penn State, Ohio State. Also Iowa State, Texas, USC, Oregon, or Virginia at Georgia Tech. Check your local listings or ESPN.com keyword ABC Sports to see which game is in your area. ABC Sports is the class of college football. Ohio State, this is the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, their defense is going to get the biggest challenge with all the weapons that Penn State has. In my opinion, Pam, the best quarterback in the Big Ten is Zach Mills.
Well, he showed that to us in person last week. Only a sophomore, really running that offense so well. Of course, he has all the Larry Johnson and all the other Johnsons out there that make that offense click, but Mills is just a great instinctual quarterback. After the halo call, 1st and 10 from the 42. Coburn wrapped up early. DJ Williams and John Vilma, we go to Matt Weiner.
Pat Marshall on the road in the MAC at Central Michigan, and things have been mostly pleasant in Mount Pleasant. It's up 20-0, but CMU on the board. Terrence Jenkins make it. PAT no good. It's 26.
Marshall, a lot of people, West Virginia fans, can't stand Marshall in this part of the state. This Marshall, Rasheed Marshall, they love as he gets it close to the 45-yard line, picks up about 3.
And going back to Marshall University, not Rasheed Marshall, this guy right here is the best quarterback in the country. I mean, the numbers are just astounding. And you might say it's against lesser competition. I would disagree with you because I'm going to put the MAC at the middle of the Big Ten, at the middle of the Big East, and at the middle of any other major conference. If not, some of them can scoot to the top of those conferences. He's outstanding. He's 6'6", and he's accurate. He's the most accurate passer in college football.
You have to take a double take when you see he's completing 66% of his passes.
That's crazy.
It doesn't seem possible. Marshall, there's a holding call coming up on West Virginia as he tried to find Coburn, but those big white hats were coming. And there was some holding.
Now, listen to my philosophy here, and it might sound crazy, but I take the holding penalty because you know that West Virginia is not a big third and long conversion team. You know that West Virginia is not a very good punt team. Take the holding penalty or take the ball, whichever you do.
On the offense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
I'm just thinking ahead now. You know that West Virginia can't punt the ball very well. And they're not a third down long conversion team. Create yourself better field position where your offense in Miami is struggling a little bit. Just a thought. I think it's right, but Coach Coker obviously doesn't agree.
All right, so Coker going the anti-Spielman way, turning that down, and it's now 4th and 7. So we see Mike Fazzolari in again. Roscoe Parrish, long way to go, gets it going backwards. That's not what you like, but he's making something out of it. Boy, Parrish.
Ball down, fumble.
Ball down again. 3rd Miami fumble, but this time they hang on to it. Ooh, escaping disaster yet again. Disaster and mayhem is what Grant Wiley has been wreaking so far this afternoon for West Virginia.
Yeah, well, Grant is an instinctive linebacker. He's had some hamstring problems the past 2 weeks, but he's come back again, making plays all over the field. Not only is he making them in the run, but he's making them pass. Right there, you see a great play on the football. Slipping, but still getting the tackle. And twice being able to strip the football with a conscious effort to jerk it out of there. That's how you make big plays. That's why he's the best player on this West Virginia defense.
Wiley was the Big East Rookie of the Year back in 2000. Had more hamstring problems last year.
Personal foul on the kicking team. Penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down.
So that hurts West Virginia, obviously, as first they didn't fall on the fumble, and then you tack on the extra 15 yards for the personal foul. But Wiley, just to get back to that thought, dealing with those hamstring strains very bad last year and has really been slowing him down the last couple of games, but he looks healthy today.
Yeah, Bill Stewart, the special teams coach there right there, is getting a little upset down there.
So that gives Miami the ball on the 41. Good field position to start. McGahee gets free and catches the pass. Wiley could not tackle him that time, and he is finally brought down inside the 3. You could see that all the way that McGahee had gotten free.
Yeah, great thing to get the momentum back, go deep after a major play. Try to take some of the emotion out, and matching up McGahee, you'll see it. Bam. Dorsey finds it, recognizes. Again, one of his strengths. See, they'll fake the ball to him, and they'll send him on a throwback on a takeoff route down the sidelines. Grant Wiley trying to run with him, but McGahee has too much speed. Grant didn't think he'd run through after he got the catch. Then McGahee carrying Thaxton for 15 extra yards.
Thaxton weighs 200 pounds. McGahee about 25 more. That was a 57-yard pass play again. Yards after catch, ballooning to 165 for the Canes. McGahee straight ahead. That's a terrific tackle by Leandre Washington, backup linebacker.
Yeah, Leandre did a good job of filling in the hole right there. Seeing the play, finding an opening, making a sure tackle on a guy that's hard to make a sure tackle, Willis McGahee.
Yeah, you don't see him go down much on first hits. Leandre backing up James Davis at one of the linebacker spots, a junior college transfer. 2nd and goal. McGahee this time tries to go outside, breaks a tackle, and scoots into the end zone for the Miami touchdown.
power, run over you, run through you, run around you. Willis McGahee can do it all.
It looks like Grant Wiley had him.
No, Adam Langhorn had him right there in the grips. He came in, made a great play, but you're hitting a truck. When you hit a truck, you got to bring in a roll. You got to bring it in.
You got to bring a bigger truck. Seaver's kick is good. 2 touchdowns for McGahee, and West Virginia tied it up at 17. Miami takes it back.
What they did was Willis McGahee shown his versatility coming out of the backfield, catching the takeoff route. Now yards after catch. Look at him carrying people. I want the end zone. I want the end zone. So I didn't get it that time, but I will get it this time. If I have to go through you, around you, or over you, I will get there.
Willis McGahee with a classic Willis McGahee run to score that touchdown. Appeared to be stopped at the line and just kept on going.
He does have nice receiving skills for a back. What a luxury that is if you're an offensive coordinator or coach to have that. When you guys catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right, Rob Chudzinski talked to us about their offensive coordinator. Says he's the fastest guy on the team, maybe the strongest guy. I mean, he's got everything.
Well, you asked him, does he have a weakness? Fair catch, good call. Well coached right there.
They're caught at the 36, so...
Why is there not a halo rule in that? I mean, you know I'm not a big fan of the halo rule, but if you're going to have a halo rule, a fair catch on a punt, you need a halo rule on kickoffs so a guy can get careered.
Mikey Johnson almost got careered that time, but held on to the football, so West Virginia gets it in pretty good field position.
Where's my halo rule go off for the week?
You're not a fan of the halo rule, are you?
No, that's why there should never be a fair catch in college football. Catch the ball, make something happen.
Because even if you're hit, you're going to be guaranteed of getting really 12 yards from where you catch the ball. You get the 2 yards for the halo plus 10 yards on top of that. And if it's a personal foul, you get even more yardage. 1st and 10. Coburn trying to pull McGahee, and he is cut down at the line of scrimmage by Andrew Williams.
Yeah, well, this wave of defensive linemen, I don't know if this is the first wave or the second wave, but this wave this time got penetration. That's a long developing play. When you get penetration, you have no chance for it to be successful.
It's like a kind of a mixed bag. Wilfork is in there. He is one of the one of the reserves. William Joseph.
You can put him in a hat and shake it up and pick 4 guys. You're in, you're in, you're in.
They don't have to go in as a line. They just mix and match, and they're still darn good. Play action. Marshall nowhere to go, but uses his feet.
Yeah.
And Marshall goes up towards the 1st down marker. Hit on the sidelines. The crowd wants a personal flag penalty, but won't get it. Roland Jennings converging.
I'll tell you, that is great awareness by Rasheed Marshall. And no panic and showing running skills. West Virginia at some time has got to be successful throwing the football. Eventually, they've got to do something where they either do a little bootleg, which they were successful earlier, or screen pass or something. Yeah, they got the 1st down. But Miami's pursuit to the ball, the defensive backs just coming there, just close ground.
Roll was among those closing in. And remember, again, this is a Miami defense that lost all 4 of its defensive backs. All 4 were drafted, 3 in the 1st round last year, so they get 4 new guys in.
Yeah.
And they just keep on coming, including Sean Taylor, talented sophomore from Miami. So 1st and 10, thanks to Marshall's feet. Coburn gets it going. Avon making people miss, and he's taken down at the 45 in Miami territory. Sean Taylor making the stop.
When you're successful running the football, you're going to get some guys up front blocking right here. It's the zone running play. They do a good job of sealing off the defensive line, kicking out Bilma. And Avon, again, just powerful for a little guy. Not little, but just a strong, compact guy. Power.
You see the rush-pass ratio, exactly what we expected for West Virginia. Coburn again up the middle. Lots of room in front. He's finally caught from behind by Roll. Avon Coburn now well over 100 yards. He's shaken up a little bit.
You don't want this guy hurt now. I hope it's just the wind knocked out of him. But you'll see Avon again, recognition, hitting it inside with some burst. Now, this is again a zone play. You're going to get a good lead block by your fullback. Now Avon's going to make a cut off the block. See the cut off the block? Then he sees a hole, then he goes. Now Roll does a good job. He's got the hand secured. Now he's punching the ball out of there. Almost got it out of there. I think Avon fell on his shoulder. I think he hurt his shoulder, but here's the vision. Bam. Vilma over pursuing. You got to be patient. Or he landed on the ball and got the wind knocked out of him. That's what you hope for.
You could see as they were running down there that Roll was trying to punch the ball out.
That's a good job by him, because the left hand was securing the tackle, and he takes his 2 or 3 shots. If you don't get it, then you go ahead and secure the tackle and bring him down.
Coburn able to hang on to it. And let's go over to Matt Weiner now. Matt.
All right, Pam, Auburn and LSU, and this is shaping up as a stunner. LSU down 17. Jason Campbell in at quarterback. Play action hits Robert Johnson in the end zone. Tigers up 24-0. Meanwhile, Notre Dame has capitalized on another turnover. Hit a field goal. It's 13-10 Irish.
So a couple of surprises going on there, and this one is relatively surprising that West Virginia is hanging this close. Coburn walked off the field on his own power. Quincy Wilson now is in, and Marshall decides to hang on to it, and now it's the West Virginia offensive players who are breaking tackles. So let's go down to Rob Stone on the field. Rob.
Oh, Pam, your partner Chris Spielman all over it. Landed on the ball, just had the wind knocked out of him. Coburn should be back, but he's on the sideline right now for this play.
All right, Rob, and Avon, 140 yards rushing, his 6th straight 100-yard rushing effort. He had only one game this year in which he did not break the 100-yard mark.
Wilson's no slouching there.
Wilson, fake to him again. Marshall nose for the end zone, is stopped inside the 5. That should be a 1st and goal for the Mountaineers.
Again, getting Rasheed Marshall out on the perimeter and giving him that run-pass option. His fullback was in the flat, was covered, and when you're Rasheed, and you know you have great feet and a running back ability, you don't look for the second option. You tuck it and go, baby, and that's what he's doing.
And it is indeed 1st and goal. Wilson getting the ball, taking it down close to the goal line, but he is stopped about a football length short.
You know, if you're West Virginia, you hurry up, line up, and run the same play, because here come the waves. Now they're bringing in new waves.
No substitutions along that defensive front. Wilson, you mentioned he's no slouch. He had 99 yards last week against Syracuse on the ground, including a 44-yard run and a 1-yard touchdown run. That's Ken Sandor, the right guard for West Virginia, on the field. There's Wilson. His dad was, talk about NFL connection, his dad is Otis Wilson, a great linebacker on the Bear Super Bowl champs.
Great linebacker. That's a pretty good core there. They had Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, Wilbur Marshall.
Not bad.
No. Then part of that Super Bowl shuffle deal. You know, I was a little upset they made that video. Didn't think they were focused, but they were so good they can do videos and still beat people.
So while Ken Sandor is being attended to, we will take a quick break. 2nd and goal, West Virginia right near the goal line. Back in Morgantown, West Virginia, and those guys aren't ready for Halloween. They always dress like that.
Those guys weren't skilled position players either. They were bigger guys. One guy couldn't decide whether to come to the football game or go deer hunting. He had the camera going.
Avon Coburn, 140 yards rushing as Sandor is helped off the field very, very gingerly, walking off.
Well, there's that club on his thumb there, and now he's got a knee problem. That's football, though. He's a tough kid.
Jeff Lewis is his backup. 2nd and goal, right near the goal line. Wilson continues in the backfield along with fullback Mo Fofana. His big blocker.
That's sneaky.
Good call. They give it right to Wilson.
Yeah.
Touchdown, West Virginia.
I tell you, I can't tell you how impressed with this West Virginia offensive line. They are taking a fight to the waves. The 1 wave and the 2 wave of the Miami defensive line. Winning the battle up front, pad level, not a line penetration down on the goal line. And Wilson understanding, recognizing that everybody on the defensive line was pitching in. I'll just bounce it out and head for the corner of the end zone.
His 3rd touchdown of the season. Obviously, Marshall sneaking it in would have been another good option the way he's run. He's close to 100 yards already. Marshall is on the ground. Field goal, or rather the extra point by Todd James to tie this game up, and he misses it. So Todd James with an opportunity to tie this game. This is his second point after touchdown miss this season. And remember, Miami during this huge winning streak has had some luck as they were able to hang on and beat Florida State.
Missed the field goal there.
Those infamous wide rights.
Yep.
And Boston College, the late interception.
Walter to Reed. Ed Reed now with the Ravens going the distance.
And then against Virginia Tech, they dropped. 2-point conversion to tie it. And last week, wide left for a change.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're on a streak like Miami's on a streak, at a number of wins they have in a row, you have to be lucky. And that's a credit to their football team because they never feel like they're out of it. 28 straight wins. Bowling Green and North Carolina State are behind them. But 28 straight wins is unbelievable in the parity of college football today. It really is.
The all-time streak held by those Oklahoma teams of Bud Wilkinson back in the 40s. A win today would be Miami's 29th straight. That will tie a school record that they set between the 90 and 92 seasons.
Now, James right now has cost West Virginia 4 points, just to keep that in the back of your mind. Missed the field goal earlier, and misses the give-me extra point.
So instead of being tied, they're down 1. Let's go to Matt Weiner.
Pam, we have some developing stories around college football. In the Big Ten, Iowa trying to earn their stripes. Haven't beaten the Wolverines since 1990. That was a Rose Bowl season. But Brad Banks to C.J. Jones for the second time today. Hawkeyes up 17-9. Meanwhile, Notre Dame now 88 points off 22 turnovers for the year. That's all you need to know about this team. The score here from Ryan Grant. They have the ball back off another turnover. It's 26-10.
That makes a great point. 88 points off 22 turnovers. Opportunistic, describes Notre Dame.
Yeah, well on their way to winning again as McGahee moves the pile a little bit, going up to the 23-yard line. And this West Virginia defense that you are looking at is the 11th ranked total defense in the country. Notre Dame is number 10, and they mentioned that in our meetings yesterday. Todd Graham, the co-defensive coordinator. So they're kind of right up there, and he talks about instilling a new confidence on this football team, kind of beaten up in the 3-8 season last year.
And the biggest thing is that if a big play happens to them, they don't get down, they don't panic. They believe in Todd's system, and they'll run it, and they're committed to stopping the run, which you have to do.
And we've seen them not get down today. They have countered every Miami move. Pass is complete to Andre Johnson for the first down as he is knocked out of bounds around the 37-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
Well, when you want to get a big play and you got over 170 yards after catch, get it to the guys that can make it happen. Andre dives on a slip screen right here, does a good job of getting upfield, getting positive yards. The only way to defend that play is get humming to the ball.
And he was hummed at the end of it by Jamil Adai.
Andre Johnson, excuse me. I called him Andre Davis, I'm sorry.
Andre Johnson has 4 catches. McGahee, can he get around Estrada's tackle? Yes, he can. McGahee keeps his motor running. They pick up a couple, make it a 4-yard game. Here is Matt Weiner.
Now, Pam, let me update that points off turnover statistics for Notre Dame, because while we were speaking, they scored again. It's now 95 points up 23 turnovers this year. Carlisle Holiday to Omar Jenkins, 16 yards. Irish up by 17 in Tallahassee.
Wow. Wow.
Going away for a play, and they've scored again. Thanks, Matt. Notre Dame, about, a 10-point underdog day, and they just keep winning football games. Ty Willingham has got to be the coach of the year. Time for Dorsey, and he takes advantage of that time, completing the pass to Hill, his fullback, and Quadrin gets it all the way down to the 18-yard line.
See, they get you so preoccupied with the wide receivers. The last 2 big passing plays, who has caught the ball? First of all, McGahee on a run through out of the backfield. And right there, you see Hill on the through route. They'll go to the flat, it's like an out and up. Players seem to let those guys go. If you got coverage, stick with your coverage.
Ken Dorsey continues to break Miami records. He was just past Dino Toretto for most completions in history. McGahee running towards the first down sticks. And you mentioned Quadrin Hill. This is a guy who came in with 6 catches on the season. Today he has 5 for 85 yards. So Dorsey spreading that football around and making the most of this offense.
Again, a nice adjustment by Dorsey and the offensive coordinator for Miami saying, look, who haven't we thrown the ball to a lot this year? Our backs out of the backfield. Let's start hitting them. They have for big plays.
2nd and 2 after the latest McGahee run. Right back to him. Strung out nicely by that West Virginia defense. Nowhere to run, and they gang tackled him for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, Angel Estrada does a great job of taking the tight end into the backfield. Watch Angel Estrada and understanding he has contained. Take a look right here. He's going to come up and he's going to get position. See his hands inside. Control the blocker. Get off the blocker. Force the ball inside. Let his guys get there and get in on the tackle. Ben Collins from his middle linebacker job. Coming over, closing the gate in front of the ball. Making a good hit.
Estrada, a great story from the Bronx in New York. Not exactly a football hotbed, and came here from Nassau Community College. Dorsey looking for Johnson, finding him for the Hurricanes touchdown.
Unstoppable play. That's the fade stop. When you're Andre Johnson, you have the ability to go deep. You just underthrow it. He comes back. He stops. The corner slips. Easy point. Well executed. Good call. Isolate the corner one-on-one. Throw the fade stop. Very difficult play to stop if you're West Virginia.
Johnson's 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He has 5 catches for 87 yards. Now Todd Sievers in. High snap.
Now he missed it.
And he missed it. So we're all even with extra point misses.
That negates the miss by West Virginia.
And that was a high snap. Chris Harvey is the snapper on this team. And then Sievers missed it.
Take a look and see what happens here. Capshaw does a good job of getting the ball down. Laces out Finkel. Yep, he's got the laces out. Just got in a hurry. Yanked it.
Hooked it. That's Capshaw, the punter, who is his holder. But again, Chris Harvey with the little bit of a long snap. And the lead is only 7. Tonight at 7 Eastern right here on ESPN2. Big Ten football as Wisconsin takes on Michigan State in East Lansing. And at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN, College Football Saturday presented by the U.S. Postal Service, Alabama and Tennessee. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, keyword schedule. Philip Fulmer going for career win number 100 today as Tennessee goes for its 8th straight win over Bama.
That's hard to believe.
It really is. Of course, Bama having some hard times making the coaching change, but that's quite a string. Bama still leading in that all-time series. So 2 missed extra points here, 1 by each team. It's a 7-point game. Phil Braxton breaking free. And Braxton is finally tackled around the 45-yard line.
Braxton does a good job here, weaving his way, being patient, letting the wedge set up. Get up there, that's it. Now, control the football. That ball's loose. Be secure with that football.
See, you hit him again, it was Sievers.
Yeah, Sievers came in there. Now, Sievers had a good hit, but see, he's a kicker. He doesn't understand about the wrap-up. That's why he got his helmet knocked off.
He almost got his helmet knocked off that time, too.
You got to wrap him up. Quit roll blocking. That went out with Jim Thorpe.
Need a little tackling practice maybe for Sievers. He's aggressive down on these plays. Let's go down to Rob Stone.
And it looks like the Mountaineers will be without Ken Sandor for at least a chunk of this drive. They're calling it twisted right knee and right ankle. You see the retape in the right ankle. He's been trying to push off on it. A lot of grimacing. He's going to try and give it a go later.
He's a senior first-year starter from New Jersey on this team, and they are taking a look, getting that big roll of tape out.
Yeah, if you can go, you can go. You're a senior, you're playing the #1 team in the country. You're only down a touchdown. Probably playing the game of his life. The whole offensive line for West Virginia is playing outstanding. You want to get back in there if you can go.
One of 3 seniors on this offensive line. Zach Dillow is the senior center. You know Sandor wants to get back in this game. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Mountaineers. Wilson in the backfield. He gets the pitch. And Quincy It's a nice little hole and runs close to the first down. Warren Harris with the stop. Let's take you back to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pam. Iowa looking more and more for real. Actually, let's take you on, get to that in a moment. First, Texas Tech, Torian Henderson. An interesting game there. It's now 10-10 with Colorado. And Temple hanging in with Virginia Tech. 4 touchdown favorites, but up just 10-0 in the third.
Thank you, Matt. Good audible by you to go to that Texas Tech Colorado stuff. And we're ready to tell us about Iowa. We're inside 2 minutes here in the third quarter. And that was a first down run and a little bit of a loss here, it looks like, as Andrew Williams is wrapping up Quincy Wilson.
You know what? I think Miami's getting a little edge here. To me, it looks like they're lined up off sides a little bit. Those nose tackles and defensive tackles are hugging the ball. Now, if I'm West Virginia and I'm Rich Rodriguez or a coach on the coaching staff saying, get him back. Get him back. See right here. I think his head, look at that, hand's offside right there. That hand is offside.
Right in that neutral zone, right up by the football. Marshall, can he escape? No. Run down by Andrew Williams. 6'4", 260, running down a 6'1", 190 guy.
That's a great job right there, being disciplined and contained. Hold your contained. This time Williams didn't go for the fake, played his responsibility. Said, oh man, please don't let him get away because I know there's nobody out there. But that big wingspan allowed him to haul in Rasheed Marshall.
Good job of wrapping him up as Williams takes a break.
Got that condor wingspan. That's that giant bird, isn't it? The condor?
Condor is a very big bird.
Okay, thank you.
It's bigger than an ibis, which is the Hurricanes mascot. 3rd and 23, what do? Give it to Avon Coburn, and Avon is able to get it up close to the original line of scrimmage. And again, West Virginia, the weakness of this offense, they cannot air the ball out. They don't have a long passing offense at all under Rich Rodriguez. He'd like to one of these days. But
well, that's his style,
yeah. But right now, he was an offensive coordinator at Clemson and Tulane, where they really got the ball downfield in a hurry. But with this offense, with the personnel he has right now, it is not an offense that can get the ball downfield in a hurry through the air. But we are going to the fourth quarter. West Virginia wanted to be in this position. Just hang in there as long as you can. The Mountaineers are only down 7 as we go to the final 15 minutes. The Mountaineers are indeed out to shock the nation, and they are staying close to Miami, only down by 7 as we get ready to start the fourth quarter, the first play of which will be Mark Fazzolari's 6th punt of the afternoon.
We got to drop one in here. We got to drop it down. What a chance. Great field position.
And he does drop it. It is fielded by Sands at the 10, and he is dropped shortly thereafter. Arthur Harrison down on the punt coverage team. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pamela. Let's go back to Ann Arbor, where Iowa is putting it on the Wolverines. 17-9 game in the third. Jamel Lewis from 5 yards out, and it is 24-9 Hawkeyes. Meanwhile, Purdue all over Northwestern. 35-7 Brandon Kirsch, 2 touchdown passes.
Iowa trying to get back into that Rose Bowl, and remember, they do not play Ohio State this year.
Sets up favorably for them.
Nice break for them, but you got to give them a lot of credit. Great offense, and their defense is hung tough against Michigan. Dorsey upstairs for Kellen Winslow. His 2nd catch of the day is a big one as Winslow is dragged down at the 30. And their leading receiver has been silenced for most of the afternoon.
Well, he's a big target, a big, tall kid that can run. And again, what does Miami do? They come back with a big play after a momentum swing. They'll come back with a big play. Kellen Winslow will come out here. You'll see him. He's going to run it out and up. He does a good job. And Dorsey will see him down the sidelines, putting the ball right where it needs to be, in stride. And Kellen Winslow doing some damage after he catches the football.
It was a 58-yard pass play, Chris. Kellen's previous long this season was a 27-yarder. McGahee, who has 2 fumbles today, you saw him protect the ball early as he turned the quarter. the corner rather. For more on Kellen Winslow, here's Rob.
Well, Pam, he's helped filling that void left by current New York Giant rookie Jeremy Shockey. Actually, those two, they had a great working relationship last season. Shockey more or less took Winslow under his wing, and Winslow just really fed off it. Coaches told us this week that Winslow would follow Shockey around like a puppy dog. A big, fast, talented future NFL puppy dog, but a pup nonetheless.
Yeah, Jeremy wanted to keep him close to base. Hey, this guy's pretty good. I don't want him to get too good too quick.
He's very good as a sophomore, as Dorsey. Looking up top again on the crossing route. The ball is fumbled, but the official says he's down at the 1. That's Andre Johnson. And a fortunate call for Miami.
Now that was the big-time NFL throw that Ken Dorsey just made right there. The last 2 throws, to Winslow and this one to Andre Johnson, where he steps in the pocket and throws a fastball. I mean, this is really placed well. It's low and inside, only where his guy can get the ball.
Johnson, 6 catches now for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that one brings him inside the 1-yard line. 3 tight ends in, and that clears the way for McGahee as Willis McGahee scores his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. And Miami, for the first time today, gets some breathing room on this West Virginia football team.
And credit goes to Rob Jasinski, who's calling the plays for Miami. Again, a big momentum swing. What do? They go up top right away because they know they have the ability to do it. They want to take momentum away. They take their shot downfield. They executed that 2 times this ball game.
McGahee, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Severs with the extra point. So Miami coming back, the big play to Kellen Winslow, and that helps set up Willis McGahee, taking it in for the 3rd time today. It took Miami 51 seconds to go 87 yards and score a touchdown. The 12th touchdown drive this year under 1 minute. Willis McGahee capping it off with that 1-yard touchdown run. And that is the quick strike offense that we've come to expect from the #1 team in the country. Now the lead is 14, and another touchback as Severs kicks it through the end of the end zone. Let's take a look now at our ESPN2 game track. Brought to you by 1-800-CALL-ATT. Great ground game for Avon Coburn and West Virginia. They have 284 yards on the ground, but Ken Dorsey, a new career high today, Chris, 378 yards through the air.
Yeah, he's done a great job of throwing the long ball right there. And then also his receivers help him so much because they're just such a threat after they catch. They're all a threat to go the distance every time they catch their hands on the ball.
That was amazing. That was a 58-yard reception by Kellen Winslow. 4 plays over 40 yards through the air, and now Coburn gets wrapped up by Sean Taylor, and this is where West Virginia can find itself in a hole down 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter with this offense.
Yeah, they're not a quick striking offense. They're an offense that's methodical. They'll chew you up on the ground, and all their passing game is set up by play action. Not a drop back team.
2nd and 12, Coburn actually lost 2 on that carry. 3 receivers in. Fake it to Coburn. Marshall in trouble, trying to outrun these fast Miami defenders, and he does. Picks up about 8. Let's go back to Matt Weiner.
Well, Pat, this afternoon's game between Penn State and Ohio State's got a whole lot bigger for the Buckeyes because it looks like Iowa's going to remain unbeaten. They're all over the Wolverines. Jermel Lewis takes the pitch, 24 yards for the touchdown, his 2nd of the afternoon. Hawkeyes up 31-9.
Wow. I was for real.
A lot of people looking at that Iowa pass defense or lack thereof and thought John DeBar might be able to pick them apart, but they're up 31-9. First down. Coburn takes it up to the 38. And we mentioned that Iowa does not have to play Ohio State. Here's the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, always a big rivalry with Wisconsin. Northwestern, they'll get a win. Minnesota's a team that a lot of people didn't like. I picked them to be a strong team in the Big Ten because of their schedule. They have a great running game and a good quarterback. Assad Abdul Khalik.
That's right. Before the season even started, you told us that Minnesota was going to beat some people, and they certainly have done that. Just the one loss. As Marshall takes off, and DJ Williams runs smack dab right into him, or was it vice versa?
Well, DJ made a great play right there. Recognition as a linebacker. You don't want to go for the fakes all the time. You want to read the scheme. And right here, what DJ Williams will do a great job of recognizing that he didn't give the ball to the running back, kept the ball. DJ held his ground and made a good, solid open field tackle.
He had a great game last game 2 weeks ago against Florida State when he had 14 tackles. 2nd and 10. Marshall looking for Henderson, the leading receiver on this team, and it is ruled incomplete. The officials say he bobbled it.
Yeah, that was a good throw. Now, that's a fade stop, but that's the difference between Dorsey throwing a fade stop and Rasheed Marshall throwing a fade stop. What you want to do is you're going to run the fade and you're going to throw the ball on purpose behind. Actually, it's a well-thrown ball. That's a ball McGill's got to bring in. I don't. It looked like he caught it to me.
Now they could say he bobbled that one. Henderson is the leading receiver on this West Virginia team, but he has no catches officially today. 3rd and 10. Big play for Marshall. Flag down. Going long for Braxton over the shoulder, and he's unable to bring it in as Braxton pleads for the call.
They're going to take it back in the hold call here, too.
Headed for Phil Braxton. There's a flag on the play.
Oh, a face mask against West Virginia. Tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern, see the Colts and the Redskins on ESPN. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern Time. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime football. And a lot of Miami fans watching today, probably delighting a little bit in Steve Spurrier's, shall we say, troubles in Washington, going with the revolving door quarterback.
Yep, that's not a surprise, but you know, it's an amazing thing when you watch the Colts. If one of the big three struggles, they all struggle. How they affect each other with Harrison, James, and Manning.
We're going back to Shane Matthews tomorrow night as Alzolari's punt takes a little bit of a Miami bounce and then goes backwards, and Hurricanes will take over around the 34-yard line. So Rich Rodriguez's team hanging in tough for much of the day, but now down 14.
ESPN2's presentation of college football, brought to you by the all-new 200-horsepower Acura RSX Type S.
Well, welcome back to Morgantown, West Virginia. The leaves changing. Very beautiful time of the year near the campus of West Virginia University, as Miami has a 14-point lead here against the Mountaineers and the football bat. And they've been going up top a lot here in the second.
To start in the last 2 series, they went up top deep.
Let's see what Ken Dorsey does with this 14-point lead. Give it to Willis McGahee. McGahee picks up about 6. Jamil Adai with a tackle there. And the BCS standings, Miami is #1, but the BCS standings, they're #2.
Well, you take a look at Oklahoma's schedule and who they've played so far. It's just they've done surprised a lot of people actually to be #1. Notre Dame 3, Virginia Tech heading into that big showdown with Miami. Georgia and Ohio State rounding out the top 6.
Those guys unbeaten, and of course strength of schedule is even more important this year because they have thrown out the equation of margin of victory. Yeah. So strength of schedule is more heavily weighted. McGahee gets it up close to the first down as he picks up 4 more. Lewis Daniels making the stop.
A good open field tackle by Lewis Daniels, taking a big guy that can run fast. Lewis comes in and gets him down quick and deliver the blows instead of taking the blow.
And that strength of schedule is a sliding strength of schedule scale too, Chris, because you mentioned Notre Dame has Rutgers coming up and Navy, so even though they're playing Florida State, got USC, BC yet to come, their strength of schedule will actually get a little bit, it will hurt them as the season gets older.
Great point.
3rd and 1. Big stop here for West Virginia if they can get it. Dorsey, he's got a guy wide open. It's Kellen Winslow, and that was too easy. First down. Let's go back to Matt Weiner now.
All right, Pam, Notre Dame breathing down Miami's neck in the BCS standings and looking at the Seminoles in their rearview mirror. And you know what? Florida State's getting smaller and smaller back there. Ryan Grant, 32 yards. This set up by a long pass play, and the Irish are up 34-10 in Tallahassee. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech still hanging on against Temple. It's just 10-3 in the third.
Hokies struggling a little bit. College Game Day now presented by Acura will be coming up once we are finished. Matt and Mark will get into detail with things. Hill, the fullback, stumbles forward, kind of tackled himself.
Yeah, we got to give credit to the number 30-yard line for the tackle. He had so much open field in front of him, he got excited. His feet got ahead of his brain.
30 wrapped him well?
Yes, 30 wrapped him up.
Hey, Dorsey's laughing about it a little bit. You can do that when you're having a fourth quarter like this.
Well, again, Miami's pretty much, all year, their balance has just been tremendous. They're 50-50. It keeps teams guessing on what you're going to do, run, pass. And when you're able to establish a run, you get those play action. He's been very successful going to his backside of the backfield. 405 yards today. A career day for Ken Dorsey.
Just building on that career high is Miami, 405 pass yards, 100 on the ground. As we talked going into this game as Miami takes a timeout, they're balanced. They're about a 50-50 team run pass, but today the success breaking open those big plays in the air. Talking about the BCS, obviously a very important point for Miami, so we take it down to Rob Stone for more.
Oh, Pam, the Canes not bothered by sitting number 2 in the most recent BCS standings, but that could come back to bother them big time. I mean, should they stumble and drop to maybe a number 2 in the AP or ESPN poll, there's a chance that an Ohio State or Notre Dame could leapfrog them. Thus, an unbeaten, defending national champion Miami side could be out of the national game picture at the Fiesta Bowl. And the ironic thing, Pam, that might be hurting them, like you mentioned earlier, their strength of schedule, particularly their out-of-conference schedule.
Yeah, take a look at Miami's non-conference schedule. Florida A&M's helping them. Connecticut's the one that's hurting them a little bit. Then they have Temple and Rutgers and Navy left, which will hurt them down the line as you move up. But BC and some other teams, Tennessee, they got to play. It's a pretty good football team. They'll do all right. Win out. That's all you can do. That's all you can worry about. Take care of your business.
McGahee gets a couple more yards, actually about 4 on first down, and the out-of-conference schedule obviously is something that is weighed in. The polls weigh in very heavily too. So the point, that if perhaps these teams, Notre Dame continues to be unbeaten, Ohio State, let's say that they win today, Oklahoma continues to be unbeaten. Do you think any chance, if you're a voter, if Miami keeps winning, let's say they keep winning by 3, 4, 7 points a game, would it be fair for one of those other teams to jump them?
I don't think if you got 28 wins in a row and you're defending national champion, to me it's like the heavyweight. You got to knock the heavyweight out. I don't think you just not vote Miami #1 because they don't have an impressive victory. 28 straight wins. They're the title holders. You can't take the title away from the champ unless he loses. They deserve to be #1, and they will be #1 in my mind at least until somebody does beat them.
Ben Collins with the tackle on McGahee. They're about a yard short of the first down. And Miami, again, has not lost for a couple of years. Undefeated national champs last year. And they come into this game 6-0 on this season.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of wearing down that West Virginia defense. And pretty much if they want to run play action here, they'll have a big play because West Virginia has to sell out to stop the run.
7 of 12 on third downs. Make it 8 of 13. As they are starting to wear down this very resilient West Virginia defense. We're at Morgantown, West Virginia, on the campus of West Virginia University, where the #1 team in the country, Miami, is taking on the Mountaineers. Pam Ward, Chris Spielman, and Rob Stone is back with us down on the field. Willis McGahee, 111 yards rushing to pace this Miami team. And people look at that and think, well, that's another sign of their balance. But again, 405 yards passing for this club, a new career high for maybe Mr. Heisman this year, Ken Dorsey.
Well, until somebody steps up and really takes control of the Heisman race, I don't see how. If Miami wins out, or at least wins up until the Heisman voting, this guy has to be your Heisman Trophy winner. He's the defending national championship quarterback. He's 30-something-1 as a starting quarterback. He set his career high today at 405 yards. just an amazing career. And if he's not the Heisman Trophy winner, if they're undefeated, then there is something wrong with the voting. And that's my opinion, but I think you cannot not at least consider this guy at least your top 2.
And he's breaking more Miami records today. He's got most passing yards, most completions now, most total offense, breaking those Gino Toretta records today as Kyle Kobia gets the ball for the first time. And there have been some other Heisman Trophy winners, and here's the numbers.
Yeah, you see Ken Dorsey right up there. Vinny Testaverde with that 61%, but Ken Dorsey, the leading for 75 touchdown passes, 7,800 yards. The one thing you probably would like to see him improve on is right there, that little accuracy thing, 57%. But he's got such tremendous athletes around him, and he just uses them all, too. He's not selfish with that football. Everybody gets a little love with Ken Dorsey.
And that's one reason why this team is so dangerous. It's who do you stop? 3rd and 9, West Virginia needs a stop. Dorsey retreating, gets it to Winslow, who is dropped in his tracks. Nice tackle by Arthur Harrison. The Miami field goal unit comes out.
Tight end screen. Arthur Harrison does a good job of sniffing it out. That's a play you don't see much because there's not too many tight ends in the NCAA athletic enough to run this play, but Kellen Winslow is. But a good job by Harrison of wrapping up the big man, taking him down low.
Winslow 6'5", 235. Todd Severs coming in for a 38-yard field goal attempt, make it 37. And that one splits the uprights. So Miami has extended its lead now to 40-23. Larry Coker and his team well on their way to another W. Sebastian the Ibis, that's Miami's guy, as they're up by 17. More football coming your way tonight at 7 Eastern time here on ESPN2. Damon Dowdell now the quarterback from Michigan State. Jeff Smoker out for the rest of the year, suspended. That's at 7 Eastern time. And then flip over to ESPN, Alabama and Tennessee, presented by the U.S. Postal Service. College football Saturday on ESPN. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, the keyword schedule, and you watch whether it's Damon Dowdell or Jeff Smoker or anybody. You get to see Charles Rogers on the other end of those throws at Michigan State.
He's a special player. Just a tremendous athlete, guy that goes up and gets the football.
Averaging 20 yards per reception, second in the NCAA, fourth in receiving, 123 yards per game for a Michigan State team that has quite frankly had a disappointing season. I'm sure they expected bigger and better things this year in East Lansing.
Yeah, a lot of teams had Michigan State in the top 10. A lot of people had them in the top 10 coming into the season.
Good to see Charles Rogers play, always a treat. That'll be later on ESPN2. Phil Braxton finding some open space. Breaking tackles. Boy, Braxton isn't quitting as he gets it up to the 25.
Well, this whole West Virginia team has hung in there against the more talented Miami team. They haven't quit. Miami started to wear them down a little bit in the fourth quarter, hit them with 2 big plays over the top and able to capitalize. That's what Miami does so well, though. They capitalize on their big plays. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They make a big play. They build on that momentum, are able to finish off drives.
Let's take it back to Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, another pretty good Big East game going on in Pittsburgh. BC and Pitt, 13-9 ball game. Eagles, Brian St. Pierre, Sean Ryan, 15 yards, touchdown. And BC has the lead in the fourth quarter. Time running out.
Hey, Matt, good contest in the Big East, and we see Virginia Tech, Miami, West Virginia, and Pittsburgh yet to lose in conference this year.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive Pittsburgh is a team that's surprising a lot of people. Virginia Tech with that tailback tandem of Suggs and Jones. Just a lot of great players in the Big East this year.
There's Rutgers and Syracuse at the bottom of the barrel as Jarrell Weaver is being helped off. Good to see that he's walking off on his own. Boy, terrible season for Syracuse. You're not used to this, a 1-win season for Syracuse.
No, and Coach Paul Pasquale will get that corrected next year. He'll be a good football coach. You know, the interesting stat, the telling stat to me this second half is number of passing yards for West Virginia has been 0. It's tough to compete against this Miami football team if you cannot throw the ball.
And when you find yourself down in a deficit, it's impossible, virtually impossible to come back. Marshall doing it himself, and he fumbles the football. Miami gets it back. So the Hurricanes starting to roll. Orrin Harris recovers the fumble.
Well, it's a good call. It's a quarterback draw. It's one they've been successful with all day to take advantage of the upfield pass rush by the defensive lineman. Rashid sets it up well. They got to protect the football. See that ball's hanging out loose. There's a good job of recognition of how to strip the football. Excellent. Andrew Williams. Smart football play. Seeing that ball loose, go ahead and club it out of there.
Yeah, West Virginia's done a good job, Chris, of hanging on to the football. Coming into this game, +10 in turnover margin. Last 2 games, they forced 9 turnovers, excuse me, and only turned it over once on offense. But that time it goes back as Jarrett Payton is in the game, Walter's son. First time we've seen him carry the ball today.
Well, you almost want to think about starting to get your quarterback out of this football game, too. You're up 17 with 5 minutes to go.
Coming up immediately following our telecast, College Game Day now presented by Acura. Mark May and Matt Weiner will have all the scores and highlights as Larry Coker oversees. Another good effort here in the second half, Chris. The last 4 times Miami has had the football, it has scored. Yeah. And that's the difference, isn't it? This is why a team is #1. It wins a national championship and wins 28 straight. You do it when you have to.
They counter so well, too. They don't let another team's momentum. They don't get down. They believe in themselves. They carry that swagger or that confidence. And it's interesting just to notice the demeanor of Coach Coker on the sidelines. Never changes.
Never.
Good, bad, doesn't matter. This is what he expects.
In the second half, Miami has piled up the total yards, and as Chris mentioned, West Virginia has 0 yards through the air in the second half. Now,
I was just thinking of impressive rushing stats by West Virginia. It's something that Miami might need to correct. I mean, it's 311 yards rushing for West Virginia today. Last week, Florida State ran on them. This week, West Virginia runs on them. You need to get that corrected when you play against a team that can run and throw that can't cause you problems.
That's right. They gave up 296 to Florida State on the ground, but won again last week. That's a perfect throw. There were 5 blue shirts around Sonoris Moss. And Santana's little brother gets his first catch of the day.
Yeah, Sonoris does a good job of sitting down in the zone. And man coverage, if you're a wide receiver, you're going to take the route and you're going to keep coming. But he recognizes zone, so what's he do? He just kind of sits and waits for Ken Dorsey to deliver the strike. Ken did a good job of looking off, then having the recognition of the offense, going back to where his #1 option was in the middle of the field. And he had all kind of time to do it. Good job by the Hurricane offensive line of protecting their Heisman Trophy front runner, in my opinion.
Lost his 3rd catch of the season, first today. It gathers not much there. James Davis with the stop. We'll check in again with Matt Weiner.
Hi, Pam. Colorado trying to protect the only unbeaten record in the Big 12 North against Texas Tech. 13-10 game. Robert Hodge, page out of the Tech book. They're passing it. Derek McCoy in from 14 yards out. They missed the extra point, so it's a 16-3 game. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech creating a little separation against Temple. Finally, it's now 17-3. Lee Suggs has a touchdown.
Matt, so Tech's starting to get a little bit of breathing room. Chris Brown for Colorado, the leading rusher in the country. Avon Coburn coming in today, 3rd in the nation. Dorsey looking for another touchdown and throws that to the cheerleaders. Cheerleader, she backed away from it, didn't make the catch.
Go up and get the ball at the highest point, cheerleader.
She wanted no part of that football.
Chris Brown from Colorado, we had them in the beginning of the year. He's just a boy dog. I mean, and boy dogs are good. He's just big, strong, fast. He reminds me of Eric Dickerson with that high knee lift type running.
I remember going into the season, they had talked about the 3-headed monster at Colorado. Other talented tailbacks. When you got Chris Brown, you got to give him the ball.
Yeah, you got to. He's too good not to be in there all the time. 3rd down. He's a big guy with power that can go the distance. There's not many guys who can go 80 yards without getting caught from behind with his size and power. He is one of them. Another guy's Willis McGahee.
So he's a boy dog too?
Yes.
Miami.
Definitely.
That is the 2nd time.
Miami has one more timeout left to go. Talk about, guys, great players. Dorsey, Heisman hopeful, maybe Chris Brown. Who else, Chris?
Well, right there, Maurice Claret could be one. Willis McGahee, he's shown today. Charles Rogers, the best wide receiver in the country. Right there's the best talented quarterback, and right there's a winningest quarterback. And the more stats you want, the #1 stat I like is how many wins a quarterback puts up on the scoreboard. And certainly Ken Dorsey's the leader in that category.
Guy's lost only one game as a starter. You see, there's some question about whether a split vote might hurt. Miami voters, some go for Dorsey, some go for McGahee, and you see some teammates have finished high in Heisman voting earlier in previous votes. And it's interesting you say that Byron Leftwich is the best quarterback in the country, but still you would vote for him, for Dorsey, to win the Heisman over Byron.
Well, I would vote, one, because he's got a national championship under his belt. You're a talented quarterback if you have a national championship under your belt. He wins football games. He has a great presence and a confidence on the football field. He knows where to go with the ball. And the thing he does well is read defenses and distributes the ball. He's a guy that just wins, and I got to go with the winner.
He'll be 33-1 after this victory. 3rd and 13. And the rush gets him. Fred Bluford coming in. That's the first sack of the game for West Virginia.
Big Fred's getting some playing time. Said, I want to make most of my PT. You see Fred comes unblocked. Come with a blitz. It's a missed assignment by the Hurricane offensive line, leaving Fred unblocked, and he finishes the job.
It's only the 6th sack that Miami has given up this year. Remember, they only gave up 5 all of last year. 41 yards away, Sievers misses.
Wow.
It was good from 47 and 37 earlier, missed an extra point, and now misses that field goal, but it's still a 17-point lead for Miami. We're sending out a special hello and a job well done today to the military policemen and women, the MPs in Iwakuni, Japan. They have us tuned in on the American Forces Network as they go about their security patrols. Keep up the good work, and thanks so much for watching us. It's about a 12-hour time difference in Japan. It's middle of the night there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a long time, though. I know that. I know it's a long plane ride over there.
You played over there once, right?
I was going to, didn't have the opportunity to.
Didn't want to get on the plane?
No, didn't want to go that far to play.
I don't blame you. Oh, that's a slip down for Coburn. Dorsey and McGahee, the two guys, the two Heisman hopefuls on this University of Miami team. Check out their numbers. Dorsey, all he had was a career-high day, and McGahee with another 100-yard game plus 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, McGahee, not only can he do it on the ground, but what I like is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And I'm not just talking about check-down routes, but the one big catch he had was a takeoff route from a play-action pass where he made something happen.
Cornelius Green coming in, and Marshall hits the deck. That's the 3rd sack today for them.
Now you see Rashid, when he wants to escape, he's going to go outside. And if you're the Miami defensive coordinator, you're going to go ahead and tell your guys, look, when Rashid wants to get out of there, he's going to go outside instead of stepping up in the pocket like a Ken Dorsey might do.
McGahee was signing an autograph down there on those heated benches.
Yeah, you better just concentrate on the game and get your eyes on the ball game. You sign autographs, you'll have plenty of time after that. And put that Sharpie away there, Terrell. One of the two.
Whatever. Don't need any more Sharpies. Marshall taking off on 3rd and 20. He picked up about 13. Well, West Virginia, as we approach the 1-minute mark.
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Why not? Marshall, a tough kid. Remember, he is only a sophomore from Pittsburgh.
He'll get better throwing the football.
And he had a dislocated pinky earlier this season, and the last couple of games he's taken off the splint and is feeling more comfortable throwing the football. But it just is not part of this West Virginia offense. Coburn is. And on 4th down, Coburn picks up the 1st down. Great effort.
Yeah, it is a great effort. Great effort by West Virginia. And Avon Coburn shows the character of his football team. They're going to come with a sprint option off the shotgun. It's a good read by Rasheed Marshall, delivering the pitch. And this is guts. See, he wants to get the 1st down, breaking tackles, going under people, over people, and getting the 1st down and show no quit. That's the definition of Avon Coburn and the definition of this West Virginia football team today.
Picked up 12 there. That's about a 9-yard gain as Mike Page gathers it in. 175 yards on the ground today for Avon Coburn, and that was the first completion of the 2nd half for West Virginia.
Yeah, the difference here, though, Mike Page fell on the ground instead of keeping his feet after he caught the ball. So
downed right away, West Virginia down to 1 timeout. So Ken Dorsey, a record-setting day for that young man, as he has thrown for over 400 yards, 422 to be exact. Good way to start it off, Andre Johnson.
Yeah, you know, too, what Ken does is gets tremendous support from his big-time playmakers and athletes. It's dealer's choice. Then you have this guy, Willis McGahee. Well, talked about getting out of the backfield, catching the ball on the run, keeping his feet, making something happen, going around you, through you, over you, past you. Can do it all. Tremendous back, tremendous talent. Needs to put the Sharpie away, though. I don't like that. Not when a game's going on. It's, you know, I'm sure Coach Coker doesn't like guys signing autographs during games. Get your rear end fined in the NFL about 10 grand for doing something like that.
He does have 112 yards on the ground. It's hurt them 3 touchdowns, catching some passes. Quincy Wilson breaks free. And Wilson breaking tackles. Gets it all the way down to the 15-yard line. 36-yard gain for Wilson.
Again, 22 seconds left. They're not quitting. Quincy Wilson, I mean, they're going to be approaching the 370-yard rushing mark here in a minute. And it might not be a problem because you're winning a football game, but I'm telling you what, other teams will watch the film and see how to attack this Miami team. They've been exploited the past 2 weeks on the ground. It could be a problem.
363 rushing yards. There's a pick. Sean Taylor seals the win, and he is off to the races. McQuella Henderson making the stop, but Miami, the #1 team in the country, is about to tie its school record, 29 straight wins. Next week, Miami will be at Rutgers, then they're at Tennessee, and they do finish up the season December 7th, home game on ABC against Virginia Tech. Could be a heck of a game, and Larry Coker, Walter Camp, look out. He is sneaking up on you. This guy has not lost a football game as a head coach. He is now 19-0.
Even though he's not shown it on the outside, on the inside, he's breathing a sigh of relief because he knew that this football team was going to fight him today, West Virginia, and knew that they had a nice little running attack, which they do when they come in and get 363 yards on the ground. You just have to be able to throw the ball to beat Miami.
So West Virginia fought the good fight, but then Miami scored on 4 straight possessions in the second half to put this away. They win it 40-23. That'll do it. Miami still unbeaten. They've won 29 in a row. For Chris Spielman and Rob Stone, I'm Pam Ward. Our final score, 40-23 Miami. Coming up next, College Game Day Now, presented by Acura. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Goodbye from Morgantown.